April 2nd.
Your attention, please, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching, yes, the Yankees Entertainment and Sports Network.
We get to see a brand new ballpark today, Marlins Park in Miami, Florida. It is a beauty. They finally have a baseball-only facility. Today, the retractable roof will be closed because of the extreme heat. They expect a nice crowd on hand. As the YES Network presents New York Yankees baseball. It's the New York Yankees against the Miami Marlins in an exhibition game from Marlins Park here in Miami, Florida. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Yankees Baseball. Along with Al Leiter, I'm Michael Kay. When you get this close to opening day, you don't want injuries. You just want your players there on opening day healthy and ready for the full 162. On Friday, the Yankees suffered a little bit of a setback. A guy they made a big trade for, Michael Pineda, pitched against the Phillies. He'd been suffering from a lack of velocity all spring. We finally found out why.
We did, Michael. And I say this, you know, it's not so much about numbers. So there's no question Michael Pineda, across baseball, scouts love his arm. The reality is that he has not touched on the velocity close to what he showed last year in Seattle. And yes, that's a concern. Less about the numbers, less about the ERA. I know his game here against Philadelphia wasn't good. Now that we know that there is a shoulder issue, at least they know how to attack it. They know there's something there. They have to treat it and do appropriate things for Pineda to get back and be healthy.
Obviously, there was a battle for the 5 spots in the Yankee rotation. This is how it sets up now. Sabathia is going to start on opening day in St. Pete. Then you've got Kuroda, Hughes, Nova, and Garcia. There's a lot of good staffs in the big leagues, Al. That's a pretty good starting 5.
Michael, I think this is a very good starting 5. Kuroda has been a nice pickup. Certainly in spring training here, he's deserving of the number 2 spot. Love the way he pitches. Phil Hughes came in healthy. He's in shape, and he's shown it. He's got a good changeup, and he's using all of his pitches. His velocity's up. Nova, are you kidding? His number 4 starter. Last year at times, Michael, he was right there in 1-2 with CC Sabathia. And Garcia, old pitcher, certainly knows how to pitch. This is a nice 5-man rotation.
All right, let's look at the matchup in today's ball game, and this is the final tune-up for CC Sabathia. 19-8 last year with an even 3 ERA. Ricky Nolasco is going to go for the Marlins, 10-12 with a 4.67 ERA. Coming up, we're going to take a close look at this ballpark. This is what the Marlins have needed for the longest time. They used to play in a football stadium with the Dolphins. Now it's all theirs. We'll take a look next on YES.
Just open a little wider. Explorer, please. Say, where'd you get your office supplies?
Oh.
WB Mason, they're good, huh?
Oh.
Think they'd save me money, too?
Oh.
All those things.
Welcome back to Yankees Baseball, everybody. Let's learn something about the newest ballpark in the big leagues. This place is called Marlins Park. It's on the site of the former Orange Bowl. They had groundbreaking ceremonies in July of 2009. Holds 37,000 people compared to their old ballpark, 68,500. And there is a retractable roof. And when it's closed, as it is right now, a temperature of 75 degrees. Let's take a look around the ballpark. Marlins Park, it is a gleaming, beautiful park. They have fish tanks behind home plate. I don't know how they'll react to foul balls, but we'll find that out today for sure. A lot of bells and whistles. There's a pool out in left center field in a place called the Clevelander, which is kind of a nightclub within the ballpark. Oh, yeah, there's a DJ for sure. And we'll show you more of the ballpark as the game moves along. And it's an important game for the New York Yankees because it's the final tune-up for that man, CC Sabathia. He's going to start opening day in St. Pete against the Rays. Ozzie Guillen's trying to get his Marlins ready with Jose Reyes aboard. Lineups, first pitch, baseball next.
All your life.
Today's Game on YES is brought to you in part by Cadillac. Visit CadillacTristate.com to find a dealer near you. By 5 Hour Energy, when you got to get stuff done. And by the Really Big Sales Event. Real deals, big inventory now at your Honda dealer. Actually, a lovely day here in Miami, but a little too hot, so they do close the roof. And from what we hear, they probably will have the roof closed 85% of the time, but it will also stop all the rain delays and rain outs with the thunderstorms that come through. And Al, you lived through this, and This team needed this ballpark.
Michael, just having played here, there's nothing worse. Forget about not forget about the fans, but the idea of coming here, you always pretty much knew you were going to have a rain delay. The disruption for a staff and a team and workouts, all of that, it was not easy. And certainly this roof is going to be great. I think it looks beautiful. This is an awesome looking stadium. There's some issue with where it is and parking and all that, but right now this is a heck of a lot better than where it was.
We'll talk about that as we move along. Let's look at the game time weather conditions brought to you by Toyota. We'll give you the outdoor and the indoor so you can compare. Inside the ballpark, it's 75 degrees. Outside, 83 degrees and sunny. It certainly did seem very hot and humid when the windows or the roof was open when the Yankees got to the ballpark at about 9:20 in the morning. So they decided to close it, and that might be the way they go for a lot of the season as well. Well, the Marlins have taken the field here at Marlins Park, and we are close to baseball. So let's take a look at the Yankees starting lineup, which is presented by our good friends at Lexus. This is pretty much the Yankee lineup that you'll see against the Rays and James Shields on Friday at Tropicana Field. The captain, the shortstop, Derek Jeter will lead off, batting second and playing center field. Curtis Granderson. Robinson Cano at second base will hit third. Alex Rodriguez in his hometown plays third base and cleans up. Batting fifth, playing first base, Mark Teixeira. Nick Swisher's in right field, he'll bat sixth. Batting seventh and DHing, Raul Ibanez. Russell Martin will catch, he's going to bat eighth. And batting ninth and playing left field, Brett Gardner.
Ricky Nolasco on the mound, veteran now. Here's a guy who's going to give a lot of innings. Last year, 206 innings. You see the hits that led the National League, not good ratio. He throws a lot of strikes. He was more of a four-seam curveball guy, changeup. He's developed more of a sinker. We certainly like him. He got a multi-year contract a couple years ago, settles in nicely. Let's take a look at the scouting report. 3-4 starter. They brought in Mark Burley. There's no question about it. He's an innings eater. This starting rotation, we'll talk about it today, Michael, about Josh Johnson, #1 ace, and how it all filters out. Nolasco looks like he's going to be #4. Carlos Zambrano's had a heck of a spring, and it looks like he'll be the #3 starter. I said strike throw, only 44 walks in 206 innings. He will throw the ball over the plate, and I mentioned about that hits per inning, 244. You have a pitcher that has good stuff, not great stuff, and throws a lot of strikes. He's going to give up some hits.
And that was the Volkswagen Pitchers scouting report. There's a new manager for the Marlins, Ozzie Guillen, and we'll take a look at the defense that he's put together, and is brought to you by the Home Depot. In the outfield, you've got Kearns, Bonifacio, and Stanton. That's left to right. Infield, Hanley Ramirez, Jose Reyes, Omar Infante, and Gabby Sanchez. Third to first, John Buck behind the plate, and Al told you about Ricky Nolasco on the mound. Well, Derek Jeter, 11 hits and 34 at bats so far in the spring. A good spring for him. He digs in. Nolasco's ready. So is Jeter. And let's do it here in Marlins Park. First pitch is lined to right field. It's a base hit. It'll go into the right field corner. Jeter rounds first, and he will chug to second with a leadoff double on the first pitch of the game.
Well, how many times the Yankee fans and baseball fans have seen that? First pitch fastball away. I said he throws a lot of strikes. Here's a nice little pitch for Derek Jeter, drive to right field. Beautiful swing. 3,000 plus hits career, future Hall of Famer. Ho hum.
So Jeter with his 12th hit of the spring, and here is Curtis Granderson. Curtis 16 for 42, hitting .381 so far this spring, and there's a strike. On base percentage closing in on .500. He's done everything he wanted to do this spring, picking up after a great year last year, an MVP caliber year.
40 home runs. I mean, you think about what he has been able to do the last couple years after the end of 09 or 10, when he made the swing adjustment, worked with Kevin Long, great hitting coach, and August of 2010. It's really been remarkable to watch for a veteran player to do what he's been able to do. Power, great place to hit. Obviously, Yankee Stadium pole hitter.
And he pulls that ball, gets Jeter over to third. Gabby Sanchez will take it himself. So that's the thing you want to do, pull the ball to the right side, and the runner is at third now with one out.
Derek talking to Hanley Ramirez. That's a big topic of the conversation this winter when the signing of Jose Reyes. How would Hanley Ramirez like going to third? And Michael, just having spoken him, been around the Marlins a little bit. Between Hanley and Jose Reyes, there's not enough smiles that could possibly go around. They are good friends, and I don't see a problem at all that so far that Hanley Ramirez has expressed, at least publicly, but even amongst each other. I think he's going to have a monster year. And it's going to save him longevity-wise, career-wise.
There's Robinson Cano, infielders back. Pitch inside. Yankees moved toward this at the end of last year with Cano batting in the number 3 spot. They'll have Alex Rodriguez as protection. And Mark Teixeira will be batting 5th. Pitch outside.
Well, there's no doubt. Robinson Cano's career, when you think about when he first came on the scene, and you know, Michael, my Yankee fans know, started out as number 9 hitter, worked his way up 8.7, 6.5, and everybody figured that eventually, not only on the Yankee team, that he's a 3 hitter. He's one of the best players in the game. MVP candidate every year, no question.
The 2-0. Shattered bat, popped up center field. Bonifacio will make the catch. Tagging is Jeter. Here's the throw. And Jeter scores. So a sac fly for Cano, and the Yankees have a run.
Get him over, get him in. Nice job by Granderson. Pull a little sinker away. Advancing Derek Jeter to third base. A very productive out, RBI. The bat went down. Shattered. Let's see a little cut. You can't tell on that angle, but that ball cut in on his hands. Foot down, pulls his hands in, not enough. But got it out far enough for Bonifacio to not be able to throw out Derek.
That'll bring up Alex Rodriguez. He was emotional before the game. He grew up 15 minutes from the side of this ballpark. And he used to always go to the Orange Bowl, which stood on this site. Dolphins had their 17-0 perfect season in 1972 on this spot. And Alex now lives about 12 minutes from here during the offseason. A lot of family and friends in the ballpark.
The U.
And Alex was going to go to the U and was actually walking to class before the Mariners actually signed him and gave him the bonus that he wanted to. They had to stop him from going to class. Once he had gone into class, he would have had to go back into the draft. And he has been a big contributor to the University of Miami athletics, and actually considers himself a Hurricane, although he never went to class there. Works out there during the off season as well. Turned him loose on 3-0. He fouls it back. Orange Bowl opened in 1937, and it was the home of the Hurricanes from 37 to 07. The Dolphins from 66 to 86. Hosted 5 Super Bowls, including the famous Joe Namath Guarantee one, and hosted the Orange Bowl game for many, many years. As Alex Rodriguez works a walk. Now, beyond left field, a lot of artistic touches here. Those are the letters that would say Miami Orange Bowl. So all of those letters as if it was a demolition of the Orange Bowl, and those letters rest outside in some way, shape, or form. And that would be outside those windows. Those windows close when the roof closes. Here's Mark Teixeira. And a strike. Very much an Art Deco feel. They did not want a retro ballpark of any sort. This is, you walk in this ballpark, you said, this is Miami. The 0-1. Nice breaking ball for a strike.
Well, the owner, Jeffrey Loria, who is an art dealer, he had a lot of input in that as well, Michael. A lot of colors, fish, sun. Very representative of South Florida, Miami.
74-foot home run sculpture by Red Grooms. Could not hold up. Pitch breaking down and in. Teixeira down on strikes. Yankees get a run. They do it the small way. 1 run, 1 hit. 1 man left. Yankees won. And the Marlins coming to bat.
Elite.
Back here at Marlins Park, Crowd of about 25,000. They did not sell all the tickets on what they call a soft opening, and this is the Marlins lineup with shortstop Jose Reyes leading off. Emilio Bonifacio, the center fielder, will bat second. Hanley Ramirez hits third. Giancarlo Stanton, used to be Mike Stanton. He'll be in right field, and he'll clean up. Logan Morrison, the DH, will bat fifth. Batting sixth, playing first base, Gabby Sanchez. Omar Infante, the second baseman, bats seventh. Batting eighth, playing left field, Austin Kearns, and John Buck is going to catch, and he'll bat ninth. Let's take a look now at Yankee starter CC Sabathia, and Al will give you the Volkswagen pitchers scouting report.
CC Sabathia, well, this will be his last start going into opening day. There you see his regular season record. What a year he had. Just missed a 20-game season, 19-8, a great 3 ERA. Very respectable across the board. Let's take a look at the scouting report brought to you by Volkswagen. 59 wins as a Yankee. One short of 20 per year. 19-8 last year. Just book it. This is a guy who's going to throw 230 innings. His ERA is going to be low threes, close to 20 wins. And I mentioned the final tune-up going into his opening day start. This is probably going to be about a 60-pitch performance just to get tuned up before opening day.
The 1-0. There's a strike. Jose Reyes won the National League batting title last year with the Mets, became a free agent. And about 1 minute after midnight, the deadline when you could meet with him, the Marlins met with him in a Manhattan hotel, offered him a huge contract, and they were able to do that because of this ballpark. And that one is slapped to right field as Swisher makes the play. And Reyes is now leading off for the Marlins. Let's take a look at the Yankee defense, brought to you in part by the Home Depot. You just saw Swisher in right, so we'll start there. Granderson's in center and Gardner is in left. Go the other way in the infield. A-Rod, Jeter, Cano, and Teixeira third to first. Russell Martin behind the plate, and Karsten Charles Sabathia is on the mound. And he deals to Emilio Bonifacio. Pitches high.
The excitement on the top of this order, Michael, with Bonifacio and Reyes could be as good as any, certainly in recent history. You talk about stolen bases, 40, 50, 60 bags. Bonifacio, 50-plus stolen base guy. Reyes a couple years ago, 60-plus. The possibility for both of these guys to be on base, and Bonifacio has become much better understanding situations and getting on base. The damage that certainly the middle of the lineup could do here. Giancarlo Stanton, I think, is a special player. Hanley Ramirez, your three-hitter. Logan Morrison. This is a nice team. This is not just a playoff contending team, in my opinion. The moves that this Marlins team did this winter put them in position to be a playoff team.
Pitch is high. It's going to be a bear of the National League East.
Yep.
The Nationals have made improvements, signings, health of Steven Strasburg. You've got the Braves trying to bounce back from a collapse in September, and then the Phillies, who are always tough, and the Mets will try to surprise some people. But that's a strong National League East. 3-1. Missed inside as Bonifacio works a walk. Marlins rotation is fairly strong, especially if Josh Johnson's healthy, Al. That's the key. Then you sign Mark Burley from the White Sox. Sanchez, Nolasco, and Zambrano. Zambrano, they're rolling the dice, and the Cubs are paying about $16 million of his $18 million contract, and they feel that Ozzie Guillen could actually motivate him.
I actually think Zambrano is going to be moved up to the 3 spot. He's pitched that well. He's been great. You know, he's got Ozzie Guillen, fellow countryman, Venezuelan. He's, you know, I know he can blow up, and we've seen the antics that has happened. But he's in a good place. But you mentioned Josh Johnson. Josh Johnson is the ace of this team. When healthy, Michael, he's top 15, 16 pitchers in the game. He really is that special. Big, tall right-hander, explosive fastball, great slider.
Ramirez at the plate, the 1-0. Inside. Ramirez obviously had to move from shortstop when they signed Reyes. At the time, there was some question whether he was really pleased with it, but when you talk to him now, he seems like he's happy. He and Reyes are best buddies. They both, I think yesterday, dyed their hair orange to match the Marlins' primary color. Believe me, it's an orange hair underneath that helmet. And he also had shoulder surgery, a shoulder that was bothering him as far back as when Joe Girardi was the manager of the Marlins, and it was major shoulder surgery on the left shoulder, and he said he feels fine. There was some doubt whether he'd be ready for spring training. He was ready first day, and this guy can play. Won the batting title in 2009 with a .342 average. Last year limited to 92 games, back and shoulder injuries.
Well, there's no doubt about it. You mentioned about the Josh Beckett trade. He was the #1 prospect for the Red Sox a few years back. There's been a maturity issue a little bit. You know, there was that famous incident where he jogged after the ball, and Freddie Gonzalez, who's now the manager of the Braves, you know, had a one-on-one face-to-face with him. But, you know, I think just as you mature, and there's certain times in a player's career where you just kind of look in the mirror and you realize things that you've done you wish didn't happen. I think he's there. And he's a very good player.
On the field before the game, very early, he and Girardi with a very warm embrace, and Girardi said he was one of his favorite people. Chopped Alex Rodriguez. Looks at second, but he'll fire across the diamond to get the out on Ramirez as Bonifacio moves up a base.
See Cano, Bonifacio, 40 stolen bases, looking at Alex there saying, no, don't throw. That was a good decision. 3-2 count going on the play.
So with a runner at second, that will bring up a guy who is literally the player to be named later. Giancarlo Stanton. He has been Mike Stanton his entire career. Giancarlo is really his name, and some people in his family call him Giancarlo.
Giancarlo.
So that is what he's going by this year.
Did you hear Ozzie? He says, I don't like the Giancarlo. He hasn't played yet. I like Mike Stanton. Because I don't know this Giancarlo guy. If there's one thing, we were talking about this stadium, about the personality and the art and the Art Deco South Beach look. You know, having Ozzie Guillen as this manager, there's so much going to happen, I think, with personalities and him getting the most out of these guys. Giancarlo, yeah, Ozzie. I don't know about Giancarlo. Mike Stanton. Giancarlo Stanton is, in my opinion, going to be, stay healthy, you know, an absolute star in the game. Monster home runs. Can hit it at any ballpark. Learning two-strike approach. Learning times in which a pitcher's trying to pitch around him.
Two-one, up the middle and a base hit. Bonifacio will score. An RBI single for Stanton. The game is tied at 1.
Slider looks middle of the plate, pulled off a little bit off the end of the bat, broke his bat just past CC. Let's see if CC squares up. Hard enough past him. The speed of Bonifacio, no way Granderson can come up shooting there to get him.
That's going to bring up Logan Morrison. He's only had 8 at-bats this spring, been bothered by a sore knee. But they assume he's going to be ready at the start of the season.
Well, he actually had a little cleanup in the wintertime, and he was hobbling around. Had the knee surgery after last year. This guy has been known to like the tweeting, which got him in a little bit of trouble. They sent him down. Good looking player.
One and two. Sabathia already 21 pitches here in the first inning.
You know, the end of spring, I always felt where you were ready, especially a veteran player, Michael, where you wanted to get to opening day. You realize a game like this, CC, no, you don't want anybody to get hurt. You want to get your work in, get your pitches. If there was something that you didn't feel comfortable in your previous start, good fastball there.
And Morrison swings and misses, and that will do it. But the Marlins tie the game, 1 run on 1 hit. 1 man left on base. 1 in the books. It's 1-1. Nick Swisher will lead off.
Dish Network claims to be a better value than DirecTV. But look a little closer and you'll find they have some of the highest receiver fees in the country. In fact, Dish customers pay up to $11 more per month for each additional receiver. So much for saving a few bucks. At DirecTV, we have the lowest receiver fees and the highest customer satisfaction of any cable or satellite provider. Another reason 30 million people agree. Don't just watch TV, DirecTV.
Whether you're buying your first digital camera or have been a Shutterbug for years, 17th Street Photo is the right camera store for you. And if you're interested in Nikon cameras, you can't afford not to visit. The Nikon D5100, complete with an 18 to 55mm VR lens, $699.95 after $150 instant saving. Nikon's Coolpix AW100, waterproof, shockproof, and freeze-proof, $299.95 after $50 instant savings. Nikon Inc. USA limited warranty included. So come see us at 17th Street Photo, the camera store with a personal touch.
When you fly to New York, don't wait in a taxi line. Simply call the 77s of Dial 7 Car and Limousine Service. We'll pick you up outside of baggage claim and take you to your destination in style. If you need more space, dial 7s for a...
And then on to Port St. Lucie. We'll have that game on Yes at 2:10. And then the Mets go to Tampa. Steinbrenner Field will have that game at 12:05. Then everybody takes a deep breath on Thursday, and they start the 162-game slate with a game against Tampa Bay at 3:10 from Tropicana Field. James Shields against CC Sabathia. And that game will be on Yes. 1-1 as we go to the top of the second. Nick Swisher. Been bothered by a groin problem of late. Been getting a lot of ABs in simulated games. He grounds that one to first. Gabby Sanchez flips to Nolasco. 1 away. Swisher says he's not quite there, especially if he runs straight, he's good to go. But if he has to cut, he's still a little tentative with the groin problem, he said, but he'll be fine by Friday.
Yeah, he was mentioning that very thing, Michael. I talked to him earlier about just crossovers and extension side to side was a bit of an issue. But as you said, he says he's ready to go. He got plenty of swinging in. I mean, even though his lower half, he said he was still able to get in the cage and get his cuts.
I asked him if, against minor league guys, if that did the job. He said, I faced JoJo Reyes in one of the games. He said, faced Manny Banuelos, who, believe me, he has big league stuff. He said, so I got my swings in. He said, I'm getting my timing down. Ibanez swings and misses. Ibanez got off to a very slow start, starting to pick it up just a bit. He actually has 3 home runs out of his 8 hits. He's 8 for 31. That's 157. Ibanez will be the DH against righties this year. Signed as a free agent by the Yankees to a 1-year deal after being with the Phillies. Against lefties, they'll spot Andrew Jones and get Alex Rodriguez some games at DH. Derek Jeter, the same deal. That'll be out of play.
Good guy. Not only good guy, Miami guy, great guy. Good to have around. And I think it's a situation where the Yankees could take advantage of a smart veteran player at Yankee Stadium, short porch, all the things that why left-handed hitters love to hit there. Good to see his timing getting big league ready here opening day around the corner.
Always a concern when you don't hit in spring training when you're older. You know, are you done? Or are you just working on things? It's a very, very thin line that you have to walk, and you see with pitchers all the time. If you're 28 years old and you have a resume and you get slapped around in spring training, Well, it's because you're working on things. But if you're 40, well, he might be losing it. Or if you're really young and you don't have that resume, maybe you're not good enough. So there's just different prisms in which way you judge it.
Yeah, and that's also a way in which a player can justify or support or defend what's going on in spring training. It's difficult to really judge because just the way you described it, how guys come into spring training, whether to try to make a club or not. Or as you said, Michael, the young player who, you know, doesn't have the track record or resume, and you're basing it on what you just see on the side or in the batting cage or in some of the backfield work.
Two. It's also interesting when you're an older player and you know you have to put up numbers. Well, sometimes you could reach back. Freddie Garcia has been very good this spring. And when he came to the Yankees before last year, there was always the label he was not a good spring training pitcher. Well, he's probably working on things when he was an established pitcher, but when he came to the Yankees, he knew, I have to make this team. Swing and a miss as Ibanez down on strikes.
Good at bat, both sides. Nolasco used every pitch he had. Raul Ibanez striking out 11 pitches. End up striking out on a fastball here, but this was some changeups, sliders. Raul got to see a lot. Just by him. Good little late. You see that late sink John Buck ended up catching. Good pitch.
There's Russell Martin. Russell 10 hits in 32 at bats this spring. Yankees 15, 11, and 3 in the exhibition slate. The Marlins 11, 12, and 4. Good breaking ball.
I know spring training, maybe a lot of fans, you know, they care about records, and I could tell you that maybe, you know, front office late in spring training, a manager, coach, general manager, they want to see their guys healthy and being close to opening day ready.
That one is driven into center field. Bonifacio runs it down for the final out. So Martin hit it hard to a very deep part of the ballpark. It's 418 out there. Bonifacio had room to run and ran it down as the Yankees go down in order. And we will go to the bottom of the seventh.
Tell us about the Accord.
Car and drivers 10 best.
How many times?
A record 26 times.
Interesting.
What about safety?
Overall 5-star safety rating.
Interesting.
It's perfect.
不要太过分，
我知道，可是我太喜欢。
不要让他知道，
可是好漂亮。
让我解决，看我办事。So Brian, what kind of deal are we looking at here?
We have some really good offers going on right now.
Really?
Really.
Okay, we'll take it.
好极了，现在我开始准备文件。
Get a great deal on an Accord during the Really Big Sales event. Real deals, big inventory. Now, at your Honda dealer.
Spring only shows up once a year. What are we going to do about it? Here's to more Saturdays in the sun and budgets better spent. Here's to Black Friday prices that turn more shoppers into savers. To picking up, trading up, mixing it up. To well-earned muddy boots and a lot more spring per dollar. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. Black Friday is back. Now through Wednesday, save on these top brand project starters just $8 each.
Keep the pinstripes in your pocket with mobile alerts from YesNetwork.com. Sign up now by texting Go Yanks to 44636 and get exclusive news from inside Yankees universe. Be the first to know while you're on the go with mobile alerts from YesNetwork.com.
The Cadillac CTS Sports Sedan was designed with near-perfect weight balance from front to back. And back to front. For exceptional control from left to right and right to left. We don't just make luxury cars. We make Cadillacs.
Now lease a 2012 CTS Sports Sedan for $328 a month. Visit CadillacTristate.com for this attractive offer.
Joe Girardi has a history here with the Marlins. It was his first managerial job. He managed for 1 year and won the National League Manager of the Year award. kind of ran into some personality conflicts with management and ended up being relieved of his duties after just 1 year and came back, I guess the timeline, Al, he came back to the booth.
Yeah.
And then became a coach with the Yankees. So Joe liked it here, he really did, but it just didn't work out long-term for him. He was 78 and 84, winning the manager of the year. Remember, that doesn't seem like a great record, but that team was supposed to be terrible that year, and he had him competing into September. 1-1, bottom of the second. And Gabby Sanchez leads off, takes pitch outside. It'll be Sanchez, Infante, and Kearns for the Marlins. Now 1-1.
Gabby Sanchez will be part of that Logan Morrison righty-lefty scenario sometimes, depending upon who's on the mound. Morrison will bat fifth, and Sanchez or fifth, sixth, fifth. Today he's batting sixth. Not as much power as Logan Morrison. Good player. He's gotten better at first base. Solid all-around player.
And the 2-1. Given out to right field. Swisher back. Still back. Track. Wall. See ya. Home run for Gabby Sanchez. And the Marlins take a 2-1 lead.
Well, we were wondering how this would play. People who have been following the Marlins, they've had some BP, played some college games. They said when the roof is open, it's more of a hitter's ballpark. But wow, Gabby Sanchez getting a fastball up and away. Now that right center field here, most gaps are rather fair. This is a 392 right center field gap. That's a fastball that was supposed to be in. Swisher taking it to the end there, hoping to carry him off the top of the wall. That's a high fence.
Pitch to Infante, breaking ball strike. This is a huge yard. I mean, most of the outfield, the fences are 12 feet. In left center, it actually goes up more than that as it goes toward that sculpture in left center. But just to the left of dead center, it's 418. That's a big ballpark. And Al mentioned 392 to right center. It's 344 down the left field line. So this, just from the dimensions, would seem to be a pitcher's park. A lot of real estate in center. One and two. You talk to people around here and they don't quite know how it's going to play. They say that when the roof is open, the wind swirls, but they're not sure if it's going to carry more with the wind swirling. They just have to experience it. But again, from dimensions, looks like it will play as a pitcher's park.
Which that's been kind of the little MO the last round of stadiums. Petco, Safeco out in Seattle. I mentioned Petco in San Diego. Certainly
City
America.
Field played very big, but
City
they moved
Field.
in the fences for this year. There's a base hit to left field for Infante.
Omar Infante now with Bonifacio and Reyes up top. He's an excellent situational two-hole hitter. A couple years ago with the Braves, made the All-Star team as basically a utility infielder. Austin Kearns with the Yankees. How about that non-roster invitee? He deserves it. You see the spring training numbers. He's battling it out with Aaron Rowan. People around the Marlin camp thought because of Rowan's history with Ozzie and the White Sox and the World Series, Rowan did not have a good spring training, and Austin Kearns deserves it. That will be the only issue, Michael, with the Miami Marlins. Would be a depth issue, like most teams. But if you peel back a couple of their key players, if a Morrison goes down, mostly Stanton goes down, you know, what would be the level of drop off as far as your 4th and 5th outfielder, et cetera? Very few clubs can have a veteran strong bench. Because let's face it, you know, it's a long season. I think historically about 30% of Major League Baseball goes on the roster at some point during the year. So DL is an issue. Giancarlo Stanton.
1-2. Grounded through the left side for a base hit. So Kearns with another hit, his 16th of the spring. And the Marlins have runners on first and second. Nobody out. Tuesday afternoon, the Subway Series hits the Sunshine State when the Yankees take on the Mets in Port St. Lucie. Then Friday at 2, don't miss our extended opening day coverage as the Yankees kick off the 2012 season against their division rival Rays at Tropicana Field. It's only on Yes. I'm pumped up. I can't wait. Can't wait for the season.
Right?
Yep.
Ready? Getting your spring training last little tune-up here?
Other guy, you know, the players have to stretch the hamstrings. I stretch the vocal cords. I'm ready. Here's John Buck. We talked about the Marlins and Austin Kearns making the team. The Yankees pretty much are set except for 2 spots in the bullpen. And you could fairly reasonably guess who those 2 spots are going to be filled by. Clay Rapata has pretty much made the team as the second lefty behind Boone Logan. And then they have a battle for a long man. And if you had a bet, you'd probably say it's going to be DJ Mitchell. Warren has a chance. Phelps has a chance. That's what they have to decide probably by Thursday. And the Yankees came in the camp set. Unless there was an injury, they knew who their backups were going to be and who their starters were going to be. It's that sort of team. It's a veteran team. It's a good team. And they won 97 games last year. And they expect to be as competitive, if not more so, this year.
And you mentioned that it's that type of team. The Yankees have been doing that for how many years now? Maybe there's a battle for a 5th starter once in a while. Your utility middle infielder, there might be some battle. And that's what that's what you expect. If you sign with the Yankees, you know what's out there. You know the depth of this organization. You know their capabilities of going out and getting players.
The real battle was going to be, how is the rotation going to shake out? The man on the mound right now, you knew he was going to be the #1, and you figured that Hiroki Kuroda was going to be the #2, and that's the way it did shake out. But 3, 4, 5 had 4 guys battling for that spot. And until Pineda went on the DL, there was still uncertainty who the #5 starter was going to be. But now, as you saw in our open, it's going to be Phil Hughes, Nova, and Freddie Garcia. And to make matters a little bit more intriguing, right around March 1st, Andy Pettitte, or May 1st, not March 1st, May 1st, Andy Pettitte is going to be ready to go if all goes well. And when that happens, somebody has to lead the rotation, because Andy has said he's going to be a starter. He's not going to be a reliever. So that should be an interesting decision to have to make as well.
Competition, there's no doubt about it. It's as good as any, what you just described, Michael, here with the Yankees.
John Buck chops one to Alex Rodriguez. Takes the out at first as the runners move up. You wonder why he didn't just tag Infante, who had stopped. I mean, you get the lead runner there, and then you keep the double play in order. And Alex knows he made a mistake. That's not the play to make there.
Yep, you said it. Right here, you have a forced play. You tag the runner. Why he stopped, I'm not sure. He's got to get to third base. You would still keep the double play in order. Now with second and third, less than 2 outs, a productive out to the right side's an RBI, potential RBI, in and out. Fly ball, sac fly. It's a wrong decision.
And of all the things to do, he took the third one. If you weren't going to tag the runner, you had to go to second to get the force. At least keep the double play in order. But now the infield will be in at the corners. They'll play back at short and second for Reyes. And he picks up a nice easy RBI with a ground ball to Jeter. And the Marlins lead 3-1. And that run is on Alex Rodriguez.
Well, we just saw it, you know, that Alex Rodriguez, great player in his own right, that was a mental mistake, that you keep the double play in order. That ground ball right there, potentially. Reyes, obviously a fast batter. We don't know if it would have been the same pitch, but that's a 6-4-3 double play, and you're out of the inning. Instead, the Marlins tack on another run, and you're down by 2. I mean, this is the kind of, you know, as you watch National League Baseball, the productive outs.
Oh. Bonifacio pops it up. Nick Swisher will make the play, and that will do it. But the Marlins scored 2 runs on 3 hits. 1 man left on base. It started with a home run up the bat of Gabby Sanchez over the right field wall. Marlins lead 3-1.
All your life, you've been trading up. You exchanged the third-floor walk-up for the house you had your heart set on. So now that you're comfortably situated in life, let's talk about your car.
It's the final days of the Lincoln Exchange sales event. Your last chance to trade up to a Lincoln MKX. For a limited time, get a $1,000 exchange bonus on top of the year's most attractive lease offer. Only at your Lincoln dealer.
You got to build history together.
That one's still deep to left. We're fans of the best in the world, no doubt. Strike 3, ball game over. I got chills right now. Yes. Feels good. Are you ready for me? This one is gone. That ball's high. Monster shot. The fairy tale just keeps getting sweeter.
It's a huge honor to put this uniform on.
Woo! History with an exclamation point. How about that? He makes the play. Speed. Fire. Double speed. Line drive. Break field. Swinging a miss. A walk-off.
The stadium is never over till it's over. It's a battle, you know. We were fighting, scratching and clawing for runs.
Welcome to the major one and introduction into the prize into the stand. Mark for Rodriguez.
Got that mojo back.
What would happen if you were to take away 30 horsepower from the Ram 1500, remove 27 foot-pounds of torque, and subtract 40,000 miles off its powertrain limited warranty? You'd end up with a Ford F-150. Test our metal and find out what we're made of.
During Truck Month, get $6,010 in total values on Ram 1500 SLT Crew Cab 4x4. Ram Truck Month ends April 2nd.
Back here at Marlins Park, Yankees trail 3-1. Brett Gardner leads off against Ricky Nolasco. And a bunt by Gardner right in front of the plate. Buck Fields fires and gets him. 1 away. Didn't get that far out enough toward the pitcher.
Didn't get a chance to get it out of my mouth. Round the batting cage, I said, nobody's on. You lead off the inning. How about lay down a bunt?
So you told him to do that. Wow. Let's see what Jack Curry's told some players to do. He joins us in the booth. Jack, did you give any coaching to any of the players before the game?
You know, Derek Jeter is coming to the plate. The only thing I did in the clubhouse this morning was tell Derek Jeter that I happened to see Mike Tyson at the team hotel. And I said, he looked smaller than I thought he would. And Jeter said, why don't you go tell him that?
Yeah.
I said, no, I don't think so. I'm not going to do that.
Welcome, Jack. Derek Jeter does dig in. And Tyson, by the way, is in town and at the Yankee Hotel because he's a part of WrestleMania, which is tonight at the football stadium where the Dolphins play. Sun Life, I think it's called now. Jack, we talked in the open about Michael Pineda. What's the latest on him right now?
Talked to Brian Cashman on the field before the game, and he was relieved that it's tendonitis and it's a 15-day DL stint and not something more serious. He talked about the fact that you send a guy for an MRI and you don't know what's going to come back. So I think the Yankees are cautiously optimistic that this is a minor injury for Pineda.
Popped up. Jeter is retired by Bonifacio. Al, let me bring you in on that. Shoulder inflammation. Is it minor? How quickly can he come back?
Well, having been through a couple surgeries, look, anytime you're dealing with shoulder, it's a little more complicated. I know that the rehab is a little different because there's different components. Is it, you know, if it is tendonitis, and you know, let's go with that inflammation. Every pitcher's arm is inflamed. After you throw a baseball, the capillaries and the blood and all of the trauma that goes to the area inflames. knowing that his velocity was down, Jack, and seeing and talking and everybody around, where's the velocity, for this to come out, is there an element of relief in the sense that at least they know that there's something that they have to deal with?
I think Joe Girardi mentioned that exact thing, Al, before the game when he did his press conference. There were a couple of questions about the ballpark and what was it like for him to be back. But then the bulk of his press conference focused on Pineda, and he said that exact thing, that there was a heavy focus on Pineda not having the velocity that they expected him to have. There is a chance that Pineda, in trying to get to that number and trying to get those 96s and 97s, might have pushed himself a little bit. And you're right, maybe there is a relief in feeling that, okay, this shoulder situation and the lack of velocity, maybe they're combined. You get him together now, you rest him, you bring him back conservatively. Maybe when he comes back, he gets that 96 and 97 again.
1-2. Grounded to first. Sanchez is there. And the Yankees go down in order on 8 pitches. 1, 2, 3. Jack's going to stay with us, talk some roster issues as we go to the bottom of the third.
This one by Mattingly. Oh, hang on to the roof. Goodbye, home run.
Swung on and line to left field. Down the line, it is gone. It's a walk-off by Mark Teixeira.
Friday, Saturday, and Sunday plans are now available for the 2012 season. With 3 different plans and new locations available for 2012, you can use whichever weekend day works best for you. For more information on the different plans, visit Yankees.com or call 212-YANKEES.
Looks like it's that time of year again when fish lovers head to Wendy's for our premium cod fillet sandwich. 100% North Pacific cod fillets, hand cut and lightly breaded so they cook up crisp. Nothing less than pure cod. That's Wendy's way.
Keep the pinstripes in your pocket with mobile alerts from YesNetwork.com. Sign up now by texting Go Yanks to 44636 and get exclusive news from inside Yankees universe. Be the first to know while you're on the go with mobile alerts from YesNetwork.com.
If you want to take a road trip with the whole gang, but don't want to stop for gas, there's an Acadia for that. And if you're looking for technology that helps keep you in control, or technology that helps you let loose, well, there's an Acadia for that too. The 2012 GMC Acadia. Now lease this 2012 GMC Acadia SL for $279 per month.
What's that?
This is the W from Wendy's.
And this is a classic.
The W has a third more beef.
And this has 3 levels of bun.
Yes, it does.
The taste of fresh, never frozen beef makes the W the new classic.
No, this is not an opening of the old Miami Vice. We are here with Yankee baseball on Yes. The Marlins lead the Yankees 3-1 in their gleaming new ballpark, Marlins Park, and that is a view from one of the outfield windows, center field to be exact, of downtown Miami. We are joined by Jack Curry during this inning. And Jack, we touched on this just a bit earlier, but this is a set Yankee team. There are a couple of spots open, and there's spots in the bullpen. So what's it come down to?
Right, 2 spots in the bullpen with Cabral injuring his elbow, fracturing a bone in his elbow the other day. The lefty relief spot is now going to go to Clay Rapata. And he's a guy with that funky sidearm delivery. His fastball is only going to hit about 85, but it's all about deception with him. And he's had an exceptional spring. I do think if Cabral hadn't gotten injured, he would have won that spot, but it's a moot point now. So Rapata gets that spot. But with Pineda going on the DL, Garcia becomes your 5th starter. We obviously know CC 1, Kuroda 2, and then it'll be Hughes 3, Nova 4. You need a long reliever. And the 3 guys who are in the running for that right now are Mitchell, Phelps, and Warren. 3 pitchers who all were starters at AAA for Scranton last year. Numbers this spring are very similar. I think if you had to pick one who has been the most impressive, it might be Mitchell. But I asked Cashman that very question on the field and said, out of those 3 guys, has anyone nosed ahead of the other 2? And he said no. He said put all 3 of them in the mix right now.
They turn Hanley Ramirez loose on 3-0, and he grounds out the second. Well, these probably very nervous times for those 3 young men. As you said, Rapata probably has it made, but those 3 kids, you'd rather sit there and get sunflower seeds for the rest of the bullpen than go down and start in the minors.
And all 3, Al, have never tasted the major league. So one of them, we think, unless the Yankees make a trade, and that's what Brian said. He said, internally, those are my 3 guys. He said there's still a chance that something could happen Does somebody cut someone loose? Does he make a trade for a long reliever? But those are the three guys internally.
All very similar. I like Warren's velocity, but when you think about Phelps and Mitchell just having a better sense of pitching, they're sinker guys, power arm plus I would give to Warren. So then you have the strikeout potential. I know Corey Wade, what he's right, it's the changeup really neutralize him. So I'd maybe think of somebody who can offset Corey Wade, because other than Robertson and Wade, those are your righties with Rapata and Boone Logan.
When Warren started a game in Fort Myers against the Red Sox, the Yankees were very impressed in that game. He had an explosive fastball, struck out Adrian Gonzalez, and I believe it was Darnell McDonald with a fastball that just exploded. You're right, a guy you need to come in and get a strikeout, I think he would be the guy. A guy for a ground ball, I think it would be Mitchell. Austin Romine said Mitchell has the best sinker in the organization, that it moves so much, it's almost like a screwball.
Count 2-1 on Giancarlo Stanton. And Sabathia deals. Jack, I was very impressed how you dug deep and you asked all the questions about the fish tank behind home plate. A lot of people are curious about that. Tell us what you found out.
I did. I talked to Kevin Mathis, and he's the caretaker of the fish tank. And for a guy who I imagine hasn't done a lot of interviews in his career, as reporters were crowding around him, there's a strikeout for CeCe right there. Changing speed on Stanton. This Kevin Mathis, right, he gave us the rundown of what types of fish are in the tank. He said they're going to be about 80 in there once the season starts. There will be no Marlins. No Marlins are going to be in there. But then I said to him, do you name the fish? What kind of names? I'm thinking, here's Jose, here's Hanley. And he said, no, I'm not going to do that. When you work in my field, you're taught not to anthropomorphize things. And I said, you're going to have to give me a definition of that. Do you guys know what that means?
Make it into be a human being, or give it
to ascribe a human form or an attribute to an animal. And he said, we're not going to do that.
A name is a human form?
That's what I was told,
Al.
Al.
On the flipper.
He was not anthropomorphized. He was. It was allowed back then.
Oh, but here's what I worry about. A line drive foul ball off the bat. Aren't those fish going to be out of their mind?
They'll scatter, but he said that they would be protected. They're in there 24/7, by the way. I thought that maybe after the game they would be moved to another area. He said no, it's a saltwater tank. They're going to be in there. He was cleaning the tank. They will feed them every day.
Did you say they're going to be out of their mind?
I thought they'd get out of their mind.
No, because there's a plastic. You can't.
No, I know it's bulletproof, but still, if you bang it.
Wait, time out. Michael, there's a plastic, and then there's a separation to the tank itself. So if it hits the plastic, it'd have to shatter the outside plastic to get to the tank. Because you will have fish lovers very upset about that.
I'm not saying shatter it, but it will make a noise for the fish.
It won't touch the tank.
I'm just hoping that they don't get upset. I don't know if they serve sushi in this ballpark. Could be relatives they think about. I mean, that's awful. These poor fish.
I think it looks cool.
Nice feature. Definitely a nice feature. You have thread fin butterflies in there. 10 or 12 different types of species.
Jack, we want to talk about more anthropologicals, whatever. I think that's what it was. Logan Morrison grounds out. More fish stuff with Jack.
Anthropologicals?
For the bottom of the 11th, here's Aaron Boone to lead off. Gone! 27 up, 27 down.
That's one of the greatest games you will ever see.
Yankees Classics, only on Yes.
Yankees win the game.
Dish Network claims they have the same TV as DirecTV. Well, when it comes to customer satisfaction, America's leading independent index shows otherwise. Today, Dish Network's satisfaction ratings have plummeted, the biggest decline in over a decade, while DirecTV customers once again gave us the highest satisfaction rating of any satellite or cable provider.
Live behind home plate, top of the 4th inning, and the Marlins lead the Yankees 3-1. It'll be Robinson Cano, Alex Rodriguez, and Mark Teixeira. 3-4-0, 1-1-0. Yankees scored their run in the first inning, a double by Jeter. Granderson pulled the ball. Jeter moved to third. And then Robinson Cano with a fly ball to center. Sac fly, scored Jeter. Yankees had a 1-0 lead, but the Marlins with 1 in the first and 2 in the second. And that's where we stand right now as Cano leads off. Nolasco deals, fouled away. Jack, you spent a lot of time talking with Kevin Long. Is he happy with where his hitters are right now?
He is, and he's very happy with the progress in the last 10 days or so that Raul Ibanez has made. And I actually called him a soothsayer because he told me about 10, 12 days ago that he liked what he was seeing out of workouts in Ibanez. He said, listen, I'm not looking at this 100 average. This guy is going to hit. And he's hit 3 homers in about the last 10 days.
That one's popped up, and Bonifacio puts it away.
I asked him if he thought that how much playing at Yankee Stadium could boost Ibanez's numbers. He said, listen, a good hitter is going to hit wherever it is, no matter the ballpark. But there's no doubt that the way Ibanez hits, pull hitter, much like a Curtis Granderson type, not to that level, but he does think that playing in that ballpark will be a boost for Ibanez.
Here's Alex Rodriguez. Alex walked in the first inning. Jack, you were in the press conference with me. He seems genuinely moved that this ballpark exists, and he said that he had goosebumps even though it's an exhibition game.
I thought, Michael, exactly what you just said, and I think he apologized for it. He said, listen, I know this is an exhibition game, and a couple of times he used the phrase corny. He said, I don't want to sound corny, but this is a big deal for me. And I believe Alex. He grew up in Miami. This is where he made his name for himself as a high school player, and I think to see something like this rise in a place where you used to know what had been here, I think it has to be pretty cool for him.
Backhanded by Reyes. The long throw, they get A-Rod. Alex played at Westminster Christian High School and was a huge star there. He ended up being the #1 pick of the Seattle Mariners. There's a young Alex Rodriguez, obviously playing shortstop. Wore number 44. Now, when he got to the big leagues, he ended up wearing number 3. And then when he came to the Yankees, obviously 3 years retired, went to 13 because of a guy who played on the site, Dan Marino, his idol.
Right, he talked about Dan Marino and Gino Torretta today, talking about how he used to go to games in the Orange Bowl and how meaningful it was for him to be here. A lot of family at the game. Before the game, you saw him on the field with his 2 daughters, so he had the opportunity to catch up with some family members. And I do believe that his affinity for today's game and talking about it was genuine.
That one is hammered to first. Gabby Sanchez makes the play. And he beats Mark Teixeira to first. 7-pitch, 1-2-3 inning for Ricky Nolasco. Jack, thank you. Jack's going to head downstairs. He'll talk to some Yankees as they come off the field. We go to the bottom of the 4th inning. Marlins 3, Yankees 1.
A true leader stays ahead of the competition. During the Leadership Sales Drive, get a Ford Edge with best fuel economy in its class for an amazing $239 a month. Just $239. Best mileage, best value.
Get to your Tri-State Ford dealer.
Spring only shows up once a year. What are we going to do about it? Here's to more Saturdays in the sun and budgets better spent. Here's to Black Friday prices that turn more shoppers into savers. To picking up, trading up, mixing it up. To well-earned muddy boots and a lot more spring per dollar. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. Black Friday is back. Now through Wednesday, save on these top brand project starters just $8 each.
A car is either luxury or it isn't. If you want a luxury car with a standard power moonroof, your options are going to be limited. If you want standard leather-trimmed seats, you're going to have even fewer. And if you want standard keyless access, then your choice is obvious. The Lexus ES. It's complete luxury in a class full of compromises. Lease the 2012 ES350 for $409 a month for 36 months, with $4408 due at signing. See your Lexus dealer.
A leader gives more than anyone else. During the Leadership Sales Drive, get a Ford Escape with better fuel economy than RAV4 or CRV for an incredible $189 a month. Just $189. Most MPG, most value.
Get to your Tri-State Ford dealer.
Today's Game on Yes is brought to you in part by Chevy with a full line of award-winning models. Find out more at ChevyOffers.com. And by DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you gotta get DirecTV. Call 1-800-DirecTV. Sabathia for his 4th inning of work here at Marlins Park. And he will face Gabby Sanchez. Now, this is the 3rd game that the Marlins have played here. The first one against a major league team. Early in March, they played a game against Miami, University of Miami, and they played a game against FIU. And there was also a high school game played before that as they try to work out any issues that might be here. Now, the place holds 37,000 people, but they're only allowing 25,000 in today. And we almost had a great moment here for this game, because coming up after we did our open, Al actually got up here before me. I was on an elevator about 5 minutes before air, and the elevator got stuck, which happens in new ballparks. You're working out all the kinks. And I said, as I was sitting in the elevator, I was hoping that it wouldn't start, so Al would have to do play-by-play for a couple of innings.
That would be the... Which one? The Artist? Was that the silent movie?
Yes. Gabby Sanchez works a leadoff walk. Obviously, this is so much different than the football stadium in which they played. The football stadium in 1987, baseball seating was just under 69. Did not have a retractable roof. So many rain delays. This is what they've needed, Al. Yep. You played here, you lived here, and they never really got a base of fans because no one wanted to travel all that way to go to a game that might get rained out. There really was no cover. You couldn't bring umbrellas to the game, so you didn't want to get soaked when it did rain. It just had a lot of inherent problems.
Well, having lived here for several years up in Broward County, look, this is going to be a beautiful place for people to know, as you just said, Michael, that they could come to a baseball game. They don't have to worry about any of that rain delay stuff. It'll be interesting because this is an area where there's a lot of uprooted Northeasterners that you have to have a competitive team, and there's no question about it. You have a committed front office and an owner and all of the things that are put in place for this beautiful stadium to have a competitive team. They have that. This location will remain to be seen as to, you know, the ease for people to come in and out.
That one is chopped to Alex Rodriguez. There's one. On to first, it's a double play. Al had some nice moments here. He pitched a no-hitter as a Marlin. He won a world championship as a then Florida Marlin.
Look at that. 25, Tommy John. Who's that? Oh, the Indians. That was the World Series. We had to have. You know what that World Series game, Michael? I looked at two guys, David Wells' start and Andy Pettitte, because the Yankees had lost to them in the division series. And I said I had to throw more curveballs against Cleveland. Look at that. Way to go, John.
John being John Moore, our director.
Yes, I'm sorry.
The one thing that worries people about the Marlins, even in this ballpark, in the past decade at Sun Life, they ranked 29th in the majors in attendance. They won the World Series in 2003. They won the World Series with a really good team. That was the Josh Beckett team. They were 28th in the major leagues in attendance then. 97, they won the World Series when Al was here, and then Wayne Huizenga didn't think that there was enough support. He broke the team up before the next year, got rid of Sheffield, Bonilla, got rid of Moises Alou. So you wonder, and they ended up in 98, they lost 108 games.
Kevin Brown, Robbie Nen.
Can this team survive, or does this team have to be a great team? Are there enough just Marlin fans that will come to a nice ballpark like this?
I would say, just based on the history and what you just described, no. I think this is a chic town. They want to be at the place where everybody wants to be. They have to win.
Austin Kearns could not hold up on the breaking ball in the dirt, and that will do it as the Marlins do not put a run on the board in the fourth. Let's go to the fifth. Nick Swisher, trying to come back from a groin injury, will lead off.
What would happen if you were to take away 30 horsepower from the Ram 1500, remove 27 foot-pounds of torque, and subtract 40,000 miles off its powertrain limited warranty? You'd end up with a Ford F-150. Test our metal and find out what we're made of.
During Truck Month, get $6,010 in total values on Ram 1500 SLT Crew Cab 4x4. Ram Truck Month ends April 2nd.
Today, I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth.
3,000! History with an exclamation point!
Yankees partial season ticket plans are now available. With new lower pricing and recently added locations in the field and main levels, now is the time to get in the game with Yankees partial season ticket plans. For information, call 212-YANKEES or visit Yankees.com.
Keep the pinstripes in your pocket with mobile alerts from YesNetwork.com. Sign up now by texting Go Yanks to 44636 and get exclusive news from inside Yankees universe. Be the first to know while you're on the go with mobile alerts from YesNetwork.com.
Whoa! Don't want you spilling that hot latte on my driver's seat.
This is my car. Who are you?
I'm the second owner.
The what?
I will own this car after you. Look, I'm not telling you how to drive our car.
Our car?
If you're gonna have a latte in the car, keep a lid on it.
It's a cappuccino.
Still needs a lid.
The exceptional certified pre-owned program with the highest quality cars. Good news for the second owner.
Take care of my car.
Visit your local Audi dealer to learn about the many benefits of our comprehensive certified pre-owned program.
Later today, get a preview of the upcoming season with Yankees 2012. Pride, Power, and Pinstripes. Join the Yes crew in Tampa as they examine the key storylines and challenges for the upcoming season, including roster breakdowns and player interviews. It's Yankees 2012 today after the game, only on Yes. There's that pool out in left field. Nick Swisher takes outside. There was a great line by really an outstanding writer. There was a lot of magazine pieces. His name is Peter Richmond. Audi scoreboard 3-1 Marlins. Grounded up the middle, base hit for Swisher. And Peter wrote a story about this ballpark in ESPN the magazine, the baseball preview issue. And he said, with the nightclub out there, because the Clevelander is known as a place that's right on Collins Avenue in South Beach. It's kind of a fun place, so they have a place there and they have a pool. And he said what they tried to do when they built this ballpark was turn it from other ballpark experiences, which are going through turnstiles, and making this like a velvet rope situation where it's like a nightclub and it's a place to be. We'll see if they can pull that off. It's a different place. Obviously, it's a different look, and it's got the bright colors of South Beach. It's as we said earlier, it has an Art Deco feel. That's what they were going for.
Well, there's
got a DJ down in the Clevelander.
Well, the Sun Life Stadium, the Dolphins games. You know
Right.
the Live. There's a club Live.
Right.
And the Fontainebleau. They have the club, full-blown club, during Dolphin games. The Clevelander, folks who've been down to South Beach, it's really more of like a pool bar across
Right.
from the ocean.
I walked by it last night.
I think they need to do any kind of cool stuff that's really the basis of South Beach, Miami flavor.
We spoke earlier about that sculpture out in left center field. That is going to light up and spin and whatever when they hit a home run, but it's not operational today. They want to save that for the actual home opener. So you would have seen that when Gabby Sanchez went yard. High fly ball left field off the bat of Ibanez. Kern's back, still back, really carrying, and he can't make the play. Nick Swisher will go to third, and Ibanez will stop at second. I'm not sure if that's a portent of things to come. I do not believe Ibanez really hit that hard. That ball really carried.
It carried. Now, Austin Kearns is not a fast runner, but he just kept, he's basically went after it as if there was some kind of breeze that just kept blowing the ball. I would say that Raul Ibanez got on the barrel of the bat. There's no doubt about it. You don't hit it this far, but the way Austin Kearns tracked that, did not go after the ball aggressively. It would have been a nice play because of the distance here. This is a long way to go. He was playing somewhat shallow, thinking Ibanez more of a pull hitter. Just didn't go after it. Been a nice play. Had a lot of hang time.
So second and third for the Yankees, nobody out. And Russell Martin will chop one to short. That's going to get a run in, and it's going to be probably an error on Reyes. We'll see how they score it. Nonetheless, Swisher does score, and the Yankees have closed it to 3-2.
I think that's a little inexperienced, Michael, from Hanley Ramirez at third base. Second and third, you got a little jam shot. That's a quick reactionary shot. You know that there's not enough velocity on the ball. Would have been a tough play, even with the strong arm of Jose Reyes. Let's see if there was a shot for Hanley to... I'm thinking that's a cutoff of the third baseman to be able to get that ball and then have the best shot at throwing out Russell Martin. Then it becomes bang, bang. You see, Reyes wasn't able to get a handle on it. They ruled it a hit.
They did give him a hit, so he gets an RBI as well. Here's Brett Gardner. Did you tell him to bat in a second, to bunt in a second at bat too?
No, this is all on him. I don't know about you, Michael. You do all these games. I just think for a guy with the electric speed of Brett Gardner, it does so many things. And I think about having been on the mound over the years that guys would either just show bunt or bunt enough to where now you have Hanley Ramirez up. He's up on the grass because, hey, he's going to bunt. You move him in, and that just, look at the angle is created. Now a 3-hopper to Hanley's left is absolutely a base hit. And he has that speed. He could beat out 10, 15 bunts a year. It just adds another, not only element to his game, but to the Yankee lineup, which historically you wait for the big home run. Makes him a very exciting player. You got Gabby Sanchez now. He might bunt. It's everybody. They're on their toes.
Count 2-1. He had 13 bunt hits last year, so that was 4th in the American League. Juan Pierre trying to stick with the Phillies this year. He led with 18.
Who works on it every day. Bunt for a hit. And that reactionary time, we just saw Hanley Ramirez, and I think that the play before that with Russell Martin, it was just slight inexperience. He doesn't know really the range, how far to go, the speed of a hit ball, which one is his play to give up on or not.
Gets a strike called there, and the count 2-2. Ibanez at second, Russell Martin is at first. 1 run already in. Yankees are trailing 3-2 top of the 5th inning.
Now we just saw Hanley Ramirez back up, 2 strikes, both Hanley and Sanchez. Help create better angles now, harder hit balls. You can get to them because you're further back, obviously.
The 2-2. 3-2.
Talking to Kevin Long about the spring training that Brett Gardner's having, and he's been, and but Kevin's words is this: he's been nailing it, hitting it hard on the screws at people. Brett Gardner knows it. That's with the comfort of not having to worry about a batting average in spring training. How do you feel in the box? Are you hitting the ball hard? Brett Gardner's been doing that.
This will be Nolasco's 60th pitch of the afternoon. Grounded to first. That'll get the runners over. So Gardner's out for the first out. Ibanez moves to third and Martin to second. That's going to bring up Derek Jeter. A lot of Yankee fans here. So Jeter gets a good hand. They play the infield back, so Jeter could tie the game with a ground ball.
Both corners as well. Obviously, spring training may be a little different. You're getting in the mid part of the game. I think maybe Ozzie would play this differently depending upon how the starting pitchers were doing in a 3-2 game. Conceding the run there, as Michael just said, to get the out.
That will tie the game as Reyes guns down Jeter. Scoring is Ibanez, and we're knotted at 3.
You saw Reyes, and this is interesting. Hopefully we'll play this back. You had Russell Martin running on that play. Ball in front of you, even though there's a runner at third base, he's not going to go home. Watch this ball here. He ends up going. This is a ball that Reyes could have and would have thrown him out. Russell Martin identifying that he ran, which he shouldn't have, waited for the throw to go to first at least. He hesitated to make sure he got into a rundown so that at least the run would have scored. Although the score is good, the runner at third base is scoring anyway because he's going on contact. You see how Russell Martin ended up stopping, created at least a couple throws and not just run yourself into an out.
Granderson 0 for 2, grounded out to first twice. Ground ball, right side, grabbed there by Infante. And he can't make the play to Nolasco. Scoring is Martin, and the Yankees take a 4-3 lead.
Well, by Reyes not throwing out Russell Martin at third, Yankees get a run here. This is a hard hit ball past Gabby Sanchez. Nice play, but you see Nolasco hesitate a little bit. Maybe, perhaps, if he was there a little sooner, maybe Infante had a better visual of where he had to throw. Let's see if Nolasco hesitates a little bit here. Nope, he's going right after it. Now you're in a foot race between a good runner and Granderson and trying to find the bag. Heck of a play Infante would have made. That ended up being ruled a hit.
There's Cano. There's a strike. Yankees with 3 runs here in the top of the 5th inning have moved ahead 4-3. That one is driven out to left field. That's going to be over the head of Kearns and rolling to the scoreboard. Granderson rounds third. And he will score. It's an RBI double for Cano. And the Yankees lead 5-3.
Not because, Michael, that's a legitimate double, but just watching where the outfielders are playing, I think there's going to be an element of a learning curve here for the outfielders, for the Marlins and other teams. They seem to be playing shallow. Robinson Cano can hit it out of the ballpark, left center, right center, doesn't matter. Austin Kearns not very fast. That's a shallow depth there where you see him starting. I'm not saying he would have caught it, but the general feeling right here in watching these outfielders is that they're more inclined to play shallow than deeper. We saw Bonifacio earlier make a great play going on his horse. Now you have a big gap, 392 right center, 386 left center. It just looks shallow to me. You got Alex Rodriguez up.
Well, you mentioned this earlier, Al, and not to pile on the guy, but he was a Yankee for a while. Austin Kearns is not a good outfielder.
That just looks a little shallow to me.
He looks like he's playing shallow. One and one. And he made this team because he can hit.
Yep.
And you live with him in the outfield. Not a bad outfielder, but he's not. He wouldn't be a proficient outfielder.
Well, right now, Logan Morrison dealing with a bad knee or recuperating from surgery from his.
Alex Rodriguez lines a single to right field. Robinson Cano will round third. And he will score an RBI single for Rodriguez. And the Yankees now lead 6-3.
That's nice. When you see Alex Rodriguez, he's done it so well in his career to stay on the ball. I just like when hitters, that ball was supposed to be inside, ended up being outer half. Beautiful, keeping his hands inside the baseball, not trying to pull it. Line drive swing to right field. You see Alex Rodriguez being able to do that. Watch out. Damage is going to be all over. Runners on base.
There's Mark Teixeira as the Yankees bat around. 9th batter to come to the plate.
I'm saying Logan Morrison recuperating. He had surgery in the offseason. He is playing. He's obviously DHing today. They're trying to give him some more time to rehab it and make sure that the trainers get him well for opening day. And we talked about this before. Here we are in the National League Park. Obviously, this would be a pitchers are allowed to hit, but this is agreed upon by both managers to have a DH. Obviously, for the Yankees, they're built around DH. You know, the National League manager is fine with this, especially with Logan Morrison and his knee. Next year, there'll be an interleague game every day. The importance of not only the National League having to worry about their hitters bunting or their pitchers bunting and hitting next year.
And they'll do that because the Astros will move from the National League to the American League, and with an odd number of teams in each league, you couldn't play league games every single day, so it'll have to be an interleague game every day of the season.
Not to open up that can of worms, but I don't like it.
I don't either. But you already opened up the can of worms, and now with the fish tanks in the back, you don't know what's going to happen. Two-two.
That is the sign. That was a sign from the bench. Alex has no lead there. You as a pitcher, you glance over. Look, Alex is even smiling. Like, really? I guarantee Ozzy's yelling something to him.
Three, 2, and 2 outs. He is always doing something on that bench. He's looking around, looking into the stands, gesticulating. It's amazing.
As soon as he threw over, I saw the flip from Buck, meaning like you're throwing over, and he has no lead. So he's immediately, Alex looks into Ozzy. Really? Not going anywhere.
He is now.
Well, 3-2.
Swing and a miss to Shara down on strikes. But the Yankees get 5 runs on 6 hits. 1 man left on base. We're halfway through. Yankees 6-3 over the Marlins. We go to the bottom of the 5th inning. That's Joe Girardi. That's the Audi scoreboard. Yankees lead 6-3. And 5th inning, a strange move by you, Joe. You bring in your closer. Talk to me about that.
Well, that's called veteran move for Mariano. So he'll probably throw this thing, and then we'll probably go Soriano and Wade and get the guys that we need to get the throw today.
Now, I know that you've known Mariano a long time, but how did you convince him to actually pitch in a road game? Because I can't remember the last time this happened, a road spring game.
I didn't give him a choice. I said, you got to go because we're going to be away for so long, 3 days. And then I can tell you, wasn't going to Kissimmee on the bus. So it would have been 4 days in a row that we're out of town. So,
well, we see on the screen 7 innings, 2 hits, 4 strikeouts, and opponents hitting 087. Does he look any different than he's ever looked, Joe?
No, he doesn't. I mean, he's the same every year, year in and year out. And that's what's so amazing about Mo is the consistency.
John Buck will lead off. Yankees lead this one 6-3. And Rivera deals a strike. Joe, what do you think of this ballpark?
I like it. I think it's the dimensions are great. I think it's a beautiful ballpark. I think it's got things that have the Miami characteristics. I like it a lot. I was curious to see the Dolphins, the sailfish, what they do. And it's probably if someone hits a home run, I don't want to see it on the other side. But.
Well, I think that it's shut down today because it didn't do anything when Gabby Sanchez hit the home run, so they want to wait until the actual first game.
No, that's probably a good idea. I mean, it looks like a really nice ballpark, and it seems cozy, and I think they did a nice job.
How about the fish tanks behind home plate, Joe?
Yeah, I actually saw the guy cleaning them today, so that was kind of interesting. So it's Miami. It's appropriate.
I want to ask you something. Do you know what anthropomorphize means?
No, I have no idea.
See, he didn't even fake it like you, Al. He just said he had no idea.
No, I didn't answer. You answered right away.
So what's the word?
Anthropomorphize. Jack Curry asked the guy who takes care of that fish tank. He said, "Are you going to name some of these fishes? You know, like
Jose and Hanley,
or let's use
the incredible
Nemo.
Mr. Limpet, right?
Flipper." He says, "I don't want to anthropomorphize the fish,"
which is give human characteristics to.
So Michael really dug on it because the whole.
Well, Michael probably knew the word off the top of his head.
I actually did kind of know. Yeah,
he was close.
I didn't know the specifics, Joe, but I knew. What was your take on CeCe today?
I thought he threw okay. He's actually a little under the weather today. He hasn't been feeling too good, so I'm really not too concerned about it.
You mentioned something during the your press conference before the game, and I feel that way about this a lot. All we've been doing is talking about, well, how are they going to make this decision 6 pitchers into 5? And, Joe, the more you worry about that stuff, it seems like something happens that it figures itself out. I'm sure you didn't want Michael Pineda to go on the DL, but it worked out that those are your 5 starters then.
Yeah, I mean, that's how it usually works out. And you can spend all your time fretting over what you're going to do, and then the decision can be made for you. So I try not to do that.
Are you concerned with Pineda?
No, I think he's going to bounce back from this. I think he's going to be fine. I think it actually might be a good thing for him, so he can take a step back, because coming to New York is not easy. And when you're a young man, and the people talked about the high expectations, that's not easy either. So he can take a breath, continue to get ready. What we feel is going to be a starter for us for a long time.
I said the same thing, having been through arm soreness and troubles, that when he had to go home and continue to hear about what's wrong with your velocity, and to have tendonitis, let's hope it stays only tendonitis and he gets treated by Stevie and the trainers, that this could be a good thing for him to at least have some solace in knowing, okay, there was something wrong with my arm.
Yeah, I think so. And there was so much talk about his velocity, and you can thank Phil Hughes for that in a sense. But it becomes frustrating because guys just want to go out and do their job, and they don't want to have to worry about radar guns and, do I have my changeup? They just want to go out and do their job and do what they love to do. And sometimes the focus can get off track a little bit. I got Andrew Jones here. I was wondering if he was going to help me with this interview.
Bonifacio at the plate, runners on first and second, nobody out. And Rivera deals. That one is grounded to second. Tough hop. There's one. On to first. Not in time. What a play by Cano to stay with that ball, Joe.
Yeah, it really was. Robbie's got such good hands, and be able to turn, at least get the one out with a speedy Bonifacio. It's amazing.
I think we could even mention, Joe, about the dirt infield. What are they saying down there? Because it looks like muddy, choppy.
They had a little issue yesterday. I guess the roof, there was a malfunction in the roof, and it rained a couple inches in about 20-25 minutes, and the infield is really, really soft. I've just basically told my guys, hey, it happens. That's why we have these trial runs. We had trial run at our stadium. Just be careful. I don't want you running the bases hard. Just be smart. Make sure you can make your turns. Be careful.
Joe, Andy Pettitte was rumored to probably get a start on Wednesday against the Mets in Steinbrenner Field. That's been pushed to Thursday as just a throw day. Any concern? Is there anything negative in that?
That's why you hate giving out possible. The whole time I said it's possible. And everyone says, well, he's starting a game. Possible is not meaning he's starting a game. That's why you have to be careful with time schedules. It's just his 5th day is not falling on Wednesday is the bottom line. So he'll pitch probably on Thursday. He'll do something on Thursday, whether it's a simulated game again or what we decide to do. He's right on schedule. He's building up. He'll throw a bullpen tomorrow, I believe it is. And I like where he's at, and we're not going to rush this. It would be silly on our parts just so we could say we saw him. I've seen him 1,000 times.
Oh, I've never seen Mariano with the Jeff Nelson move there. You teach him that during spring training, Joe?
No, I did not. If he could strike out Hanley, maybe he'll give the chainsaw that Nelly used to give too. Nelly, we haven't forgot if you're listening.
6-3 Yankees lead, bottom of the 5th inning. Lined out to right field. Nick Swisher is there. He makes the catch. Tagging is Buck. The throw home is not in time.
You know, as we talk about this ballpark, I'm curious. I'm anxious to come here a little bit early and walk around and see everything. You know, today we didn't have the chance, but there seems to be some neat things here.
Joe, sometimes you come to the ballpark, you see things you don't think you'll ever see. Mariano just gave up the first spring training run that he's given up since March 15th of 2008.
Wow. Well, I'm sure people will be worried about him now.
2008?
2008.
Yes. Yeah, but I said, yeah, that's a big deal. It sounds like a long time, but he never goes on the road. He only pitches in 2 or 3 games a year. He's pitching in the minor league games.
Here's Giancarlo Stanton, and that one has popped up. Long run for Swisher. Can't get there.
Hey, Joe, I had mentioned when Austin Kearns, not to say that certainly the Cano double was a double. I thought there was a little bit of hang time on Raul Ibanez. With new stadium, certainly as a visiting team, I know you go out and you walk the field. And does it seem like it's awkward for these guys to really know where they should stand because of the odd dimensions and big gaps?
Yeah, and the thing is, they don't know how the ball carries, and it's going to carry one way with the roof open. It's going to carry another way with it closed. And I've heard so far, the roof open, the ball really flies out the left field. Now, only time's going to tell, but it is hard for the players because they're not used to it. They got to deal with the roof closed, and do you lose the ball if you turn and run? Is it harder to find than it would be on a normal day? So it's really important for clubs to pay attention during BP when they come here.
Joe, if Pineda had not been hurt,
yeah.
did you have the 5 guys in your head that were going to make the rotation, or was that something that you still wanted to see more?
No, I mean, we probably were going to talk about it over the weekend and make our decision. But I mean, that's the important thing, is why you don't make decisions too early, because sometimes they have a way of just working out, and it did in this case. We would have talked about it this weekend, but right now we really don't need to talk about it.
Rivera with his 18th pitch and a ground ball. Grabbed fair there by Teixeira. Wow. And he did a good job. So Mariano gives up his first run since March 15th of 2008. Joe Girardi, thanks a lot. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks guys.
All right, the Marlins score a run. We go to the 6th. Yankees up by 2.
And the Honda Civic won the Best Resale Value Award from KB.
A lot of Yankee fans here at Marlins Park as we go to the 6th inning, and Nick Swisher takes inside 1-0. 6-4 Yankees lead. Swisher is 1 for 2. There's a strike. Nolasco's about to throw his 80th pitch.
Those 80 pitches, like 30 pitches last inning, giving up 5 runs.
High drive, right field. Going back, Stanton, track, wall, see ya. Home run, Nick Swisher. And the Yankees lead 7-4.
Well, he said he was feeling better. Obviously, the groin restricted him from getting as many at bats. Imagine that might have been the first ball hit up in that little upper deck up there in right field. Good feeling. Finishing up your spring training, veteran player Nick Swisher.
Pitch to Ibanez is inside.
See Buck set up inside, and Nolasco trying to go in. Boom, middle of the plate. He knew he got all of it.
When you throw a pitch and the guy gets all of it, do you even want to look?
You glance. You want to see how far, maybe. There's a little insult. Let's see here. When he backlegs, when you say he got all of it, hitters know that they hit it out of the ballpark. You see how he got his bat through, good follow through, kind of posed a little bit. I never minded. There were some guys that it just went up above that Navarro sign into the upper deck. I didn't mind. If I threw a mistake, it's a major league hitter. They get paid well, and if they square it up and hit it far, so what? I used to get more upset with the wall burners more than that one.
Popped up. Austin Kearns for the first out. Get suited up for spring training at the official online shop of the New York Yankees with the largest selection of authentic spring training gear, including clubhouse caps and t-shirts, jerseys, sweatshirts, and more. Get set for spring at the official source, the Yankees.com shop. Running out of spring, the season begins on Friday for the Yankees in St. Pete against the Rays. We'll have everything right here on Yes. Our coverage will start at 2 o'clock. Count 1-0. So Swisher has been battling first a hip pointer on the left side, then a groin injury on the right side. He said he's getting close. He's not all the way there. But with that swing and that home run, I guess he's closer to being all the way there. Martin, an infield single in the hole at short, picked up an RBI, later came around to score. He's 1 for 2. There's a strike. Swing and a miss. Martin for the second out.
Good curveball from Ricky Nolasco. Now that'll be all. What was it, 89, 90 pitches? That was the limit.
With the lefty Brett Gardner due up, Ozzie does some mixing and matching. He'll call on a southpaw as the Yankees lead 7-4 here in the 6th.
A leader.
Well, what's happened in this game? The game summary will tell us, presented by Lincoln. Yankees 8 hits, 7 runs. The Marlins 6 hits, 4 runs. Sabathia went 4 innings. Joe Girardi told us a little under the weather today, threw 69 pitches. Cano a double, 2 ribbies, a run scored. And Nick Swisher has scored 2 runs, one of them a long home run to right field this inning. Randy Choate, former Yankee, comes in to face Brett Gardner. Pitches inside, 1-0. A little bit of a reconfigured bullpen for the Marlins. They signed Heath Bell as a free agent, so he's going to be closing for them. Decent bullpen.
It is a decent bullpen. Ed Mejica is going to be their setup guy, while Leo Nunez, formerly Leo Nunez, Juan Oviedo is still dealing with some visa issues. He was their closer last year, did a heck of a job. So you'd have him. There's discussion about he'll be back probably end of May, June. You got 2 left-handers, which I've always liked. I think every manager likes it. Randy Choate, Dunn, good from the left side.
Both of their lefties from the Yankees. Randy Choate and Mike Dunn. And there's Mike Dunn. The 2-1. Grounded inside third and down the left field line. Gardner rounds first. He's going for second. The throw from Kearns is not in time. It's a double for Gardner. That is the projected bullpen for the Marlins. Juan Oviedo was Leo Nunez, and that's why he's having problems with visa issues, because they found out he wasn't Leo Nunez. He's really Juan Oviedo. Nice balanced bullpen.
Well, Godin has pitched his way into this. Steve Sischek will be also part of the bullpen. Ryan Webb, hard-thrown right-hander, will probably be part of their. They're going to have 7 arms down there. National League, a lot of mixing and matching, especially if Ozzie has an opportunity to have, as we're seeing with Randy Choate, Mike Dunn, the lefty-righty mixing and matching. You'll burn a few of your relievers in 1 inning because of that. I think it'll be interesting to watch Ozzie now in the National League as manager, as opposed to all those years as Chicago White Sox, because I think his mindset, especially as a player, when he played, is more suited for National League style. Slap the ball, hit and run, stealing, situational hitting. That's who Ozzie was as a player.
Now, as Ozzie just walked down the steps, you got a quick glimpse of a guy who's so important for Ozzie. That's Joey Cora, his bench coach. Joey keeps track of it. Ozzie's all over the place. And that's part of what makes him effective, too. He's an energizer. He's a motivator. Gets in people's faces. But Joey Cora's watching everything going on. He's keeping track.
And mentioned in so many managerial opportunities. He's been interviewed numerous times. I think it's just a matter of time for Joey Cora to get his own team and manage, see how he does. But yeah, those two have been together a long time.
Jeter scatters his teammates. Raul Ibanez kind of scurry down the steps.
Think about the new dugouts, Michael, over the years. I thought about Yankee Stadium all those years, how close it was with no screen.
Yep.
Every one of them have that screen. It's so dangerous. Takes just a second to look down, not pay attention. Every year there was always some kind of incident.
Grounded and knocked down there by Infante, but no play. Gardner thought about scurrying home, but held up. They'll probably give Jeter a hit there.
Infante went a long way to his left. I would imagine that was a hit.
That'll do it for Derek Jeter. 2 for 4 with a ribby, a run scored.
Hard hit ball. Yeah, you know, that would have been a nice play. Just didn't get the glove, catch it in the web. Looked like it hit him in the heel. See the big turn around third base. Robbie Thompson hold him up.
So Dwayne Wise is going to pinch hit here for Robinson Cano. Check that for Granderson. And the pinch runner for Jeter is Doug Bernier.
Dwayne Wise, what a spring training he's had. There's a lot of hugging going on. Dwayne Wise was with the White Sox, spent some time with the Marlins before the game, going over and seeing his old teammates, and Ozzie, his old manager, Joey Cora. Be a decision there too, Michael. Just an opportunity for Dwayne Wise.
Well, in all likelihood, he will start at AAA or get a chance somewhere else. But you're one phone call away, one injury away. Snap throw to third by Buck. Gardner's back.
Little notes back and forth on the baseball.
Lined right at Ramirez, and that will do it. Yankees get another run, though. 1 run, 2 hits, no errors, and 2 men left. Well, he's done autographing baseballs. He'll head into the clubhouse now, get some stretching in as the Yankees lead 7-4.
Technology accelerates at a relentless pace. Anything not moving forward is moving backward. Introducing the 2013 GS with the Lexus Inform app suite, the most connected information and communication technology available in an automobile. The all-new Lexus GS. Lease the 2013 GS350 for $599 a month for 36 months with $46.24 due at signing. See your Lexus dealer.
What makes a Yankee fan a happy Yankee? How about a ticket deal that includes free food, free drinks, and a free hat, all for only $55? The Trenton Thunder Happy Yankee Mini Plan provides you with tickets to 6 of our best nights, including opening night, 4 fireworks nights, and Ivan Nova bobblehead night. Why read about top prospects when you can see them in person? Visit us online at TrentonThunder.com to join the fun.
Darren Williams and the Nets.
Williams turns the corner and explodes.
Face off with Kobe Bryant and the Lakers. Tuesday, 2 of the league's top players take the hardwood in Hollywood as the Nets West Coast swing makes a stop at the Staples Center. Nets, Lakers. Complete coverage starts Tuesday at 10, only on Yes.
If you want to take a road trip with the whole gang, but don't want to stop for gas, there's an Acadia for that. And if you're looking for technology that helps keep you in control, or technology that helps you let loose, well, there's an Acadia for that too. The 2012 GMC Acadia. Now lease this 2012 GMC Acadia SL for $279 per month.
Well, I go to the bottom of the 6th inning here at Marlins Park in the Little Havana section of Miami. Yankees are leading this one by a score of 7-4.
Big changes, Michael.
Big changes. One of them is at the mound. Rafael Soriano takes over.
Good spring training. You see the numbers there. After a somewhat injury-plagued season last year, disappointment. Boy, that'd be really a big boost if he can get back to what he did a couple years ago with Tampa Bay as their closer.
Led the American League in saves.
Yes.
Hot shot, a base hit through the right side. So Logan Morrison with a single off of Soriano. A lot of changes for the Yankees. We'll get them to you momentarily.
Just the acceptance of Rafael Soriano no longer being a closer, obviously signed the multi-year deal, knows that the great Mariano is the closer, just to get your mind right on, okay, I'm the setup guy, along with David Robertson. So far this spring, shown a better fastball. He's in better counts. He's got a very good slider, using his changeup. This could be a huge boost for the Yankees, because you can't rely as a manager on 1 or 2 guys all the time. Just you're not built to be able to have 2 guys go 75, 85 games a year. It'd be very important for the Yankees to have a nice combination of Rafael and David Robertson to be at their best.
Now, if you're trying to keep score at home, we're going to help you out, because the Yankees have an entirely new defense. Dickerson, Wise, and Maxwell left to right. Hall at third, Nunez at short, Bernier is at second, and Eric Chavez is at first. Russell Martin still behind the plate. Al, I experienced something yesterday that almost brought tears to my eyes.
Really?
Yeah. Almost started to openly weep. Strike 3. Gabby Sanchez down looking. So I go to this steakhouse for dinner. And at the bar, as you wait for a table, not peanuts, no. Not pretzels, no pretzels. Bacon. Bacon in a glass. I almost started to weep uncontrollably. It was so beautiful.
You'd love that. No mayonnaise, right? Mustard, ketchup?
Nothing, no.
Bacon? That's odd.
Have you ever been to this restaurant, Prime 112?
Yes.
They have bacon in glasses on the bar, up and down the bar. Copious amounts of bacon.
Did you eat it?
No, I looked at it.
No, but
Yes, I ate
you
it.
lost a lot of weight. I
Well,
don't know if that's part of your diet.
Yeah, there's no carbs in it. Yeah, I can eat it.
All right, so no carbs. You're gluten-free?
No, I'm full of gluten. Although gluten's a big deal now. You can get everything gluten-free.
Right? I'm still trying to figure out what that is.
I don't think it has
Doesn't
anything to do with
gluten?
anthropomorphizing it. One of the concerns about this ballpark and the ultimate success, usually the first year of a ballpark, you're going to sell out almost every game. High fly ball left field. Dickerson is there, as Infante is retired, is the parking or lack thereof. One of the things with the Orange Bowl, which was, it was kind of a joke, there was no parking around the Orange Bowl, and you would have to park on people's lawns.
Yeah.
There's homes around here, so they would say $20 to park on the grass. Well, they built 6,000 parking spaces, and a lot of them are to the season ticket holders, so there's really no place for people to park. So there's a little concern about that.
Well, if you think of, you have to think of this as a downtown stadium, right? I mean, let's just go with that. Wrigley Field, you think of even Seattle, San Francisco. You know, I think that's, you know, they probably have the same issues. It's difficult to find parking. I think of Wrigley. What do they do there? Well, you got better mass transit. Down here, mass transit is not great.
Right, the mass transit to this spot is still blocks away.
Yep.
And, you know, from what you hear from people, it's not a bad neighborhood, but it's a little rough that you don't want to be walking at night like 6-7 blocks. So that's a concern as well. I think everybody in baseball wants it to work. They don't want the two Florida teams struggling. And I think that if a team is going to make it in Florida, it's got to be with a retractable roof, because we see what the roof in St. Pete does. On it's a nice day, you don't want to be indoors, and you don't want an open ballpark if it's raining. So they've solved that with this retractable roof. Although today I'm not quite sure why they closed it. It was hot on the field, but it's just 83 degrees. So you wonder how often it will be open.
I think majority of the nights is included. I can tell you, I haven't played down here. When the sun goes down, there's always some kind of breeze. It's not awful.
Base hit to left field for Austin Kearns. That's his second hit of the afternoon. About 10:40 this morning, they decide, you know what, we're going to close the roof. It doesn't close this quickly. It takes 13 minutes, and it closes in 3 sections.
This right here reminded me so much of Toronto. Looks identical to the similar structure of the rooftop.
And the people that built this ballpark, I was told by one of the Yankee executives here, the same people that built Yankee Stadium.
Little Arizona field there, or Milwaukee with the glass. Milwaukee have the little.
And Safeco. Lined into left center field. It is a base hit on the bat of John Buck. Logan Morrison will score. Moving to third is Kearns. It's an RBI single for Buck, his second hit of the game. And now the Yankees lead is 7-5.
First pitch hitting. John Buck always was a very good fastball hitter. Gets a first pitch slider. Watch here, Russell Martin set up. First pitch, little get me over slider, middle of the plate. That's part of the scouting report, folks. John Buck has been and still is a very good fastball hitter. So you get a breaking ball, you want to get in a good favorable count, strike.
Jose Reyes takes outside. Reyes, a big part of what the Marlins are trying to do, the excitement, how he can spark a lineup, be somebody that a fan base could rally around. The one concern with him, and it was a concern with the Mets, is he going to be able to play? Is he going to remain healthy? Last year alone, he had 3 separate leg injuries. And that's always been the thing that will bring him down from superstar level. He's got superstar talent, but can he stay on the field?
Yeah, that has been an issue really for most of his career. I know early on at playing with the Mets, he had some leg issues. And the last year that he played more than 130-plus games was 2008, where he did go 159 games. And because, as you say, Michael, his game are his legs. I mean, you take, your power guy, at least you got a chance to pop it out of the ballpark. It's about his speed, athleticism, but when healthy, he is an exciting player. I mean, this is one of the better players in the game.
I hope you have a big TV, because these are the injuries that Jose has suffered. That's just since 2009. He's so talented, but his body does not hold up. He beats it up. He beats it up with the slides and how he goes all out. It's difficult to stay healthy. And his legs are his game.
You said it, Michael. Even watching in spring training drills, I mean, it is just floorboard. I mean, accelerator to the floorboard and goes.
Runner goes, 3-2. Lofted to left field. Dickerson comes on and makes the play for the final out of the 6th. The Marlins score 1 run on 3 hits and 2 men left. We're going to go to the 7th. Yankees are up by 2.
The crowds are getting bigger here at Toyota's #1 for everyone sales event. Why? Because of our top-selling cars, like Camry, named Best Resale Value in its class by Kelley Blue Book's KBB.com, and awarded a 5-star overall safety rating by NHTSA.
And right now, you can lease the reinvented new 2012 Camry for just $199 a month. See your local Toyota dealer today.
You gotta come check it out today. Everybody else is.
Hurry in to the one event you don't want to miss.
Here comes the pitch. Strike 3. A no-hitter, a perfect game for John Larson.
The greatest closer in history now has the most saves in history.
Yankees fans, bring your family, friends, or business associates to Yankee Stadium for a group outing and enjoy Yankees baseball in an individual game suite. Individual game suites can accommodate up to 382 guests with all-inclusive food and non-alcoholic beverage packages. Call 212-YANKEES or log on to yankees.com/suites today.
Spring only shows up once a year. What are we going to do about it? Here's to more Saturdays in the sun and budgets better spent. Here's to Black Friday prices that turn more shoppers into savers. To picking up, trading up, mixing it up. To well-earned muddy boots and a lot more spring per dollar. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. Black Friday is back. Now through Wednesday, save on these top brand project starters just $8 each.
Prove the weather report wrong. Again, and again, and again. X-Drive Intelligent All-Wheel Drive. Now on 26 BMW models. Lease a 328i X-Drive sedan for $328 a month with a $2,500 credit and your first 2 payments on us.
Thanks very much, Michael. Now, CC, 6 starts if you include the minor league start that you had this spring training. How would you assess the way your spring went?
Success-wise, I wasn't really happy with the way it went, but, I feel good. My pitches are where I want them to be, and, I'll be ready to go on Friday.
Are you happy with the command that you have of everything? Do you like the way the fastball velocity is? Do you like the movement on the slider, everything else?
Everything is good. Fastball command, aside today was horrible, but, the velocity is there. The action is there, so it's just up to me to put it all together to be able to be ready to start the season.
You mentioned 5 days from now you will be the opening day starter against the Rays. That's something that I think you've probably been thinking about all winter, all off season. Now that it's so close, your thoughts on getting going?
Excited. It's always, fun to be able to open the season for the team, and, I'll take the ball and do the best I can to try to get us off on the right foot.
And how about this team going into 2012? Last year you guys end up losing to Detroit in the division series. I know you have higher goals. What do you feel about this team?
I feel great. If we can stay healthy, and pitch the way we're supposed to, we'll have a good chance of winning, and that's all you can ask for, every year.
Final question, because of the wonderful world of Twitter, your wife Amber tweeted a picture out of little CC, and he was pitching in New Jersey today. So 2 Sabathias on the mound today, huh?
Yeah, I hope he had a little better command than I had. He's having fun, so it's good to see.
Michael and Al, send it back to you guys.
All right, thank you, Jack. That was Jack and CC moments ago. Imagine that. He's pitching here in Miami. His son's pitching back in Jersey. Ford scoreboard 7-5. Yankees lead.
CeCe was telling me before the game, his son, 8 years old, he's on a travel team.
That's pretty impressive.
Club travel team. I'm not talking about just towns around where he lives. They'll go to Pennsylvania. They'll go down to Delaware. 8 years old. I know you can't relate to that, but 8 years old.
I can relate to being 8 years old.
I'll sit next to you.
Another former Yankee, Mike Dunn, comes on. Third pitcher used by Ozzie Guillen. Count 3-2.
Along with Randy Choate last year, Mike Dunn had a nice year, 72 games, ERA 3.43. Hard thrower. You talk about the contrast, Michael, between Mike Dunn and Randy Choate. I always remember Jim Leland was a huge advocate of demanding almost having the two left-handed leaders because of that one bullet, where if you can rely on two guys, you know there's always instances during the game, 7th inning, maybe even the 8th, where you burn that one bullet on a key left-handed power guy.
That one is driven into right center field. Long run for Bonifacio. He can't get there. Stumbles to the ground. And that ball will go to the wall as Nunez picks up a double.
What a spring training Eduardo Nunez has had. This is a good getting on top of a 94-mile-an-hour fastball. That ball was above the letters. Bonifacio, as fast as he is, I'm still a believer, even for the home team here. They haven't played many games, only a couple college games. For them to get used to the surroundings and where the wall is, how far they have to go, that would have been a fantastic play had he made it. That was a long way he went up there, up to that State Farm sign.
Here's Bill Hall. Alex Rodriguez was 1 for 2 with a walk and an RBI in the cleanup spot for the Yanks. Yankees have 11 hits today, 6 of them extra base hits. And a strike. Went wild with the lamp black, almost like John Randall, former Viking.
How about Bryce Harper? You ever see photos of Bryce?
Yeah. I don't think he does it on the big league level, but I know he did it down in the minors.
Does it help? I never asked anybody who did to smear it all over.
I think it's
his
just,
whole face
I think it's just
like
a look. Yeah.
War paint.
The only pitcher I ever saw do it was Roger Clemens. And I think that was just an intimidation thing.
That was at LCS, right?
Yeah.
Oakland? He got thrown. Didn't he get thrown out in the first inning?
Was it that game where he won the lamp black?
I think it was. Out in Oakland.
There's a strike. We told you that Dunn was a member of the Yankees. How did he get here? Well, he first went to Atlanta before he got here. Yankees got Javi Vasquez and Boone Logan, and the Braves got Melky Cabrera, Arodys Vizcaíno, and Mike Dunn. And he came here in the Dan Uggla deal. Just something about lefties.
Well,
some team somewhere is going to want you.
Well, especially this guy, Michael. This is legit power arm. 94, 95 mile an hour.
Bill Hall works a walk. 16-game Friday, Saturday, and Sunday plans are now available for the 2012 season. With 3 different plans, you can use whichever weekend day works best for you. Field level plans start at just $75 per seat per game, and new locations are available for 2012. For information on the different plans, visit Yankees.com or call 212-YANKEES. Make plans to spend your weekends at Yankee Stadium. Eric Chavez takes a wave through a pitch from Dunn. Count 0-1. Chavez says that he feels as good now as he has felt in the last 6-7 years. He said, physically, this is about as great as I felt. He signed with the Yankees late. There were teams that were interested, but he just wanted to play here. And this guy's whole career, dating back to the Oakland A's, was all about staying healthy. And if he's healthy, he can play. And last year he wasn't healthy again. So they don't expect big things out of him. He knows that the way his body is, he can't be an everyday player anywhere. And he's probably best suited to come off the bench for the Yankees. Spell Rodriguez at third and spell Teixeira at first.
Well, I mean, for him to say that, I'm looking at his bio here. You go back 8 years ago with Oakland. I mean, this guy was just a monster. 29 home runs, 34 home runs, 32 home runs. You're right. I mean, you get the at-bats. He's healthy. You know, obviously believe in what he says. He's feeling as good as he did a few years back.
Look at how his body just broke down. 578 games from 03 to 06. 268 average, and look at all the home runs. And then from 07 to through last year, just 212 games. Can't stay on the field. But he can play. He's a Gold Glove winning third baseman. Has power. Swing and a miss as Chavez goes down.
Well, you know, to think about clubs, and this is the luxury of the Yankees, to have a guy like Eric Chavez or Andrew Jones to be able to come in, or Raul Bañez, that, you know, veteran guys, starters in their own right. I mean, that's the length of a club, not only your lineup, but your bench, to be able to have suitable replacements that have been there and done that. The hardest thing for an older player is to be able to stay sharp because they're not getting the 500+ ABs.
And last year he was playing great for the Yankees, and he fractured his left foot just running the bases. Nothing traumatic that caused the injury, but his body is fragile in that way. And it has taken him from a star level now to a utility role, which he's readily embraced. Count 1-0 to Justin Maxwell. In this spot, Nick Swisher was 2 for 3 with a long home run.
Talk about another, well, young player. Not young, maybe he's been around. Maxwell, minor leagues, getting an opportunity here with the Yankees. Coming in, breaking in with the Washington Nationals. 28 years old. You see his bio. What's going to happen there, Michael? Obviously, if they send him down, when they send him down, right? There's assuming that the guys that we talk about are here. Obviously, there's no room. Potential trade, a lot of scouts watching.
The 2-0. How about a magical story yesterday? The Yankees were in Kissimmee, Florida yesterday to play the Astros. And because some of the players went directly from Tampa to Miami, they had to bolster their roster, at least for the game yesterday, with some minor leaguers that were not in big league camp. So they decided to bring in Dante Bichette Jr., their first-round draft pick from last year. The first pitch he ever sees, he hits for a home run.
Yeah.
The second pitch he ever sees, he hit for a home run. And his dad, Dante Bichette, was on hand videotaping the whole thing. And this is the same kid that Joe Girardi was very close friends with Dante Bichette in their years together with the Rockies. He would drive the kid because the kid, when he was like 2-3 months old, couldn't sleep. Joe would go in his car and the car would soothe him and he would drive him around. And he was managing yesterday when Dante Bichette Jr. hits the home run. Those are the numbers. This kid can play. The Yankees think he's going to be a star, and he certainly has the bloodlines. 51st overall pick in the 2011 Major League Baseball draft.
I remember that Little League World Series with Dante as one of the coaches. Mike Stanley is also from that area. Helped out, coach.
Former Yankee catcher.
Former Yankee catcher, right?
Plays third base, Dante Bichette Jr. does. And Joe Girardi and Dante Bichette Jr.'s dad so close that Joe named his son after Dante Bichette, Dante Girardi. Bases loaded for the Yankees. J.R. Murphy pinch hits for the designated hitter Raul Ibanez. Count 2-0. You might wonder, who is J.R. Murphy? Well, there's his resume. Ninth best Yankee prospect, according to Baseball America. Second round pick in 2009. And a native of Bradenton, Florida. And he is a catcher by trade. And he gets a base hit taken away by quick reaction from Hanley Ramirez.
Scalded it. Thinking last year he was in mid-level A, and here he is at the new Marlins Stadium. Line shot to Hanley. Hanley looked to third base, which there's nobody there for him to throw out. Watch Hanley Ramirez. Now he's new on the job. You got second base way off the bag, Billy Hall. And you saw Omar Infante saying go to second base. And reaction just to immediately go to second. He might have had him.
Ozzie Guillen goes to the bullpen again as the Yankees will send up Francisco Cervelli to pinch hit for Russell Martin. Yankees have the bases loaded. Stay right here.
Looks like it's that time of year again when fish lovers head to Wendy's for our premium cod fillet sandwich. 100% North Pacific cod fillets, hand cut and lightly breaded so they cook up crisp. Nothing less than pure cod. That's Wendy's way.
Aggressive new styling, a more fuel-efficient turbocharged engine, and a completely redesigned interior. The new C-Class with over 2,000 refinements. It's amazing, inside and out. See your authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer for exceptional offers through Mercedes-Benz Financial Services.
Our house is the one all the neighborhood kids want to hang out at.
All the kids.
They just love my sandwiches.
No. We have Fios, so our internet connection isn't shared by hundreds of homes like theirs are with cable. So our internet is always fast, even when a lot of people are on it.
Dig through the basement for some sleeping bags.
Help me.
Welcome to America's fastest, most consistent, most reliable internet. Welcome to Life on Fios.
If you want to take a road trip with the whole gang, but don't want to stop for gas, there's an Acadia for that. And if you're looking for technology that helps keep you in control, or technology that helps you let loose, well, there's an Acadia for that too. The 2012 GMC Acadia. Now lease this 2012 GMC Acadia SL for $279 per month.
What's that?
This is the W from Wendy's.
And this is a classic.
The W has a third more beef.
And this has 3 levels of bun.
Yes, it does.
The taste of fresh, never frozen beef makes the W the new classic.
Tuesday night, it's showtime at the Staples Center when Darren Williams and the Nets lock up with Kobe Bryant and the Lakers. Coverage starts at 10 with the Nets pregame. Then Ian Eagle and Jim Spernarkle are in LA for all the action only on Yes. Nets on a little bit of a roll. They've won 3 in a row. Woo!
Getting set for the old Brooklyn team. Are they going to stay the Nets?
Yes. Here's Gary Glover. Had a good spring training. And that might have just changed. Deep drive to left field. That ball is a foul ball. Oh, so close to a grand slam off the bat of Francisco Cervelli. Clearly foul. Yankees lead 7-5. 11 hits, 6 extra base hits. Glover misses outside. That's what he's done this spring. Two and one. You got Bill Hall at third. Nope, check that. Bill Hall's at second. Nunez is at third. There's Bill. And Maxwell at first. Count 3-1.
Nice job by John Buck blocking that ball. That previous pitch fastball down. Pitcher Gary Glover, first pitch almost hits it, gives up a home run. Cervelli comes back, gets a slider off the plate. And now this is a good pitch, making sure that the slider's down. Keep it in front of him. That could have been another run. Should get a good pitch here, 3-1.
3-2. Sinking action.
End up being ball. That's where, you know, the hitters that really were very tough to face with bases loaded just absolutely had the mindset the entire at bat that the pitcher was in trouble. Really made that strike zone even smaller. Just picked a little spot. If it wasn't there, they weren't going to swing. 3-1 count.
And that's going to force in a run as the Yankees now lead 8-5. That'll bring up Dickerson. You like these new Marlins uniforms?
Not the orange.
You don't like it?
And they have orange hats.
Yes.
And boy, that would look really not good. Orange hats, orange shirts. I don't know, Michael.
The orange top are the Sunday Marlin uniforms. And on Twitter, somebody had a great line. Thank goodness Paul O'Neill never played for these Marlins. He would have beaten up a teammate because it looks like a Gatorade top.
I'm okay with the. I like. It's starting to grow on me. The logo. You know, they're white tops.
I don't mind the orange tops. I mean, it's not bad.
Yeah.
So it leaves you empty.
Yeah, I don't like it, but I do. I like the white top. I think the hat's okay. The colors are big M. It's grown up.
Count 2-2.
Well, there's no doubt they had a huge opportunity. Not only the new stadium, but the name change being really drastic with whatever logos and marks they came up with, and for the most part, it looks pretty good.
Well, I got to ask you something. Why don't you like the orange? But when you pitched for the Marlins, you used to wear like a teal top.
I didn't like it.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
I didn't realize you didn't like that.
No. The white. It's hard to go away from white and gray. But I kind of have that old school thing. I see, you know, teams now, they have the Sunday tops. I think about Minnesota, they have that red top. It just doesn't really work. I think the Mets, no, they never had the orange.
Hot shot to second base. And that'll do it. The Yankees get a run. 1 hit, 3 walks, and 3 men left. Time for the stretch. Last September, they chose an all Marlins team, and Al Leiter was one of the all-time pitchers. He was there. And Dave Van Horn in the background, their longtime announcer. introduced Al to a thunderous ovation.
Big crowd, big crowd.
And the funny part is, if you watch this, Dave's continuing to talk, and Al is going to read over his shoulder because he can't wait for the mic. Watch this. This is the best part. Wait, let me look at his cards. What do you got there? Okay. When do I go? When do I go? Come on, Dave. Speed it up.
Dave, thank you. I want to say a couple
God. Good stuff.
You know what?
It was an awkward moment. Corey Wade is in for the Yankees, and he deals to Bonifacio. That must have been an honor, though.
It was. This short history of this franchise, let's face it, they've a couple World Series champs. They've had a few guys that throw no-hitters, Kevin Brown and A.J. Burnett, a couple ex-Yankees, myself. Some great players that came through. Obviously, that '97 team. We had an all-star team. Ford scoreboard. Yankees up 8-5, and it was a thrill, Michael. It was to be part of any kind of ceremony like that and be recognized. But part of that, we didn't play it all, was that Wayne Huizenga, who was the person who brought baseball to South Florida, and the whole bit of him dismantling a team, and to this day he regrets it.
Sounds like a broken bat, line drive to left field, a base hit for Bonifacio, going for two. The throw is not in time. Dickerson has a good arm, but a little bit on the infield side of the bag.
And I thought, Michael, for a guy who brought the team, not only the baseball team, the Florida Marlins, but also the Florida Panthers, and just got a raw deal. And I felt compelled to just recognize the original owner, Mr. Loria, now the present owner, big baseball fan, has been around baseball for years, owned a minor league team, Expos. We know the story. And, there's a nice little history here, short-lived.
There's a Hanley Ramirez. Yeah, but I have a question. You said he got a raw deal. How did he get a raw deal? What happened that he wasn't expecting?
Well, why not recognize a person who, because of his deep pockets, was able to get a franchise, the whole Blockbuster, Waste Management, all that, was able to convince the owners at the time that they should be one of the teams to be brought into Major League Baseball.
But then you bail on it? I mean, you build a team and you just dismantle it. You take that away from a fan base. I don't know if that should be celebrated.
Well, I think it should be celebrated that he brought the team there and we won a World Series. Why not look at it that way? He went from a $38 million payroll to $60+ million in 1 year when he brought in Alex Fernandez and Moises Alou and gave a multi-year to Gary Sheffield and Darren Dalton trade, which increased payroll. Yeah, I hear what you're saying. I think that the way he thought it was going to play out didn't turn out to be the way it did, obviously.
Count 3-0 to Ramirez from Wade.
And Wayne was a bottom line bean counter guy, and I guess he was losing a lot of money.
They've turned Hanley Ramirez loose twice on 3-0. He didn't get a fastball there on 3-0. He's probably wondering what was.
I think that was a fastball.
Really?
Yeah. Corey Wade's changeup is lethal in the way in which he's got great arm speed. Talked to Corey before the game. He's feeling better. It is a command situation with Corey. When he's on, he's about upper 80s, low 90s. Not going to blow by guys. That's a changeup there. That's his pitch.
Now, Hanley Ramirez actually came from the Red Sox in the deal for Josh Beckett. And speaking of the Red Sox, they made some news today because they set their rotation. And kind of a debatable rotation. The fourth starter is now Felix Doubront. Josh Bard goes from a setup guy that throws 100 miles an hour to the fifth starter. And it didn't seem, Daniel Bard, Josh Bard is the catcher. And it didn't seem as if Bobby really liked Daniel Bard that much, but Bard is the fifth starter. Aceves, who Bobby does like, Bobby Valentine, will pitch out of the bullpen. And the closer, Andrew Bailey, has a thumb injury, and he may need to go on the DL.
That, to me, is the biggest of all. I mean, Papelbon is gone. He's moved down to Philadelphia.
And your setup guy is Mark Melanson.
Who now will be your closer. That's huge. Andrew Bailey coming over from Oakland Rookie of the Year in the past.
Grounded up the middle, a base hit by Stanton. Bonifacio will score easily. RBI single for Stanton, and now it's 8-6 Yankees.
Couple little base hits up the middle. Giancarlo Stanton, first at bat, he got a base hit off of CC Sabathia. Let's see, this looks like a curveball. Big curveball hanger. Didn't really get it. Much of it, just had nice little C&I up the middle. High curveballs. Good hit, easy to see.
Here's Logan Morrison, 1 for 3. Came into this game with only 8 at-bats this spring, but as the DH today, Ozzy's getting him 4 ABs. At least. Pitch outside.
23 home runs last year. Spring training numbers, as Michael said, not many at-bats. Good player, has a good idea. Uses the whole field.
Al mentioned earlier that Logan Morrison has gotten into some trouble because he tweets a lot. He's on Twitter quite a bit, and his handle is Lomo Marlins, and he has 97,500 followers. And he is an active tweeter for sure.
What do you have? You tweet, right?
Yes, I do.
What's your followers?
At Real Michael K.
No. How many followers?
How many people do I follow?
I'm just selling you. How many people
follow me?
Yeah.
32,000.
He's got 97?
97. Well, Charlie Sheen has 7 million.
Do you get paid for that? Like if people follow you?
No.
Do you get like advertising or something?
No.
No?
If people got paid for how many followers they had, you'd be on Twitter. The 2-2.
What do you mean by that, Michael?
Because it's an opportunity to earn money. You're a good businessman.
It would be smart. Oh,
there it
gosh.
is right there. Let's see if it could bump up from 32,000. Let's get it to 50. Let's get it to 50 before opening day, everybody.
Yeah, come on, everybody. Did you? All right.
But I've only been doing it for about 2 months.
See, that would scare me.
Now.
That's all I need is to have one of those things. Somebody be tweeting me, telling me how awful I am.
I'll tell you how to handle it. The 2-2. Strike 3. Morrison down looking, and now he can tweet about it.
Go ahead. Locked him up. This looks like on the corner. Angel Hernandez, home plate umpire. Perfect location. That's the... he might have got an inch or so. You see, anytime you see Cervelli end up pulling the... Did I say Russell Martin? Cervelli pulling the glove back. Good pitcher's pitch.
Loria. That's the owner of the Marlins.
Loves baseball. Here all the time. Matter of fact, he lives in New York, and often he'll go to Yankee games. I don't know if he still has season tickets, but he did for a long time. And just go watch baseball. He'll go watch a Yankee game playing whoever.
Well, how could you not love baseball? It's a great sport.
I don't know how many owners from other teams would go watch another team play, not his own team. Boy, that should be interesting summer, huh? With the owner sitting there with Ozzy,
literally looking over his shoulder.
Wow. And the glass is it's not even like a wall.
And watching Ozzy is entertainment in itself. won a World Series with the Chicago White Sox. Count 2-2. Well, this ballpark that Loria has helped build has to be an improvement over what they've been doing in a football stadium. In fact, one thing that got their attention last year toward the end of the year, August 24th, they had a game where they drew, this was not the official count, but somebody counted that fewer than 500 people in the ballpark on August 24th of last year.
Oh, I believe
It's
it.
against the Reds. It's hard to make ends meet that way. 3-2. Just missed. Gabby Sanchez walks.
Wow. Yeah, Corey, smile.
That was Coughlin, I'm sorry, who had pinch hit.
This is knee high down the middle. Hey, maybe a little low. Yeah, I was wrong. I was begging.
So now the bases are loaded. And Larry Rothschild comes out and talks with Wade, who has a big smile. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the New York Yankees and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees.
So many different feels. I don't know your feel here, Michael, but with the retractable dome, I think of Milwaukee. I'm thinking of Seattle. It's got elements of San Francisco and Pittsburgh. The seating, both of those stadiums are high or low 40s. What an improvement.
That one is grounded to third. Let's see if they turn two. There's one on to first, and it gets past Chavez. So 2 runs will score, and the game will be tied at 8.
Just a slow developing double play. You're thinking of a nice little hop here.
And Doug Bernier
just gets hooks at Yanks. And I don't know if he'd have had him. Certainly the run wouldn't have scored. Bounce into the stands. Let's see this. A slow little one hopper right to Billy Hall. Little low transfer to Bernier. Just a bad throw. Could have gotten out of that.
Pitch is high. So runner at second, game tied at 8. Fly ball center field. Dwayne Wise is there, and that will do it. So Corey Wade comes on and gives up 3 runs, helped by a throwing error by Doug Bernier. We're all knotted at 8.
Direct injection. 265 foot-pounds of torque. All part of an engine built to effortlessly power through whatever challenge lies around the corner, no matter where that corner happens to be. The 308 horsepower Cadillac SRX, the most powerful standard engine in any luxury crossover.
Now lease a 2012 SRX crossover for $435 a month. Visit CadillacTristate.com for this attractive offer.
Whether you're buying your first digital camera or have been a shutterbug for years, 17th Street Photo is the right camera store for you. And if you're interested in Nikon cameras, you can't afford not to visit. The Nikon D5100, complete with an 18 to 55mm VR lens, $699.95 after $150 instant saving. Nikon's Coolpix AW100, waterproof, shockproof, and freeze-proof, $299.95 after $50 instant savings. Nikon Inc. USA limited warranty included. So come see us at 17th Street Photo, the camera store with a personal touch.
Hard time to get the big interview and draw somebody out of the shell. And that's what Jack Curry did moments ago with the usually reticent Nick Swisher.
Thanks very much, Michael. Nick, you wanted to test both groin injuries that you've been dealing with. How did the test go today out there?
Man. You know, I just felt like a little kid out there again today, man. It was nice to get out and get some ABs. And, you know, I've been able to get a bunch of ABs down in the minor leagues, but to be able to be here on this scene, you know, especially opening up a brand new stadium, man, you got to really enjoy that. So for myself, I felt good. You know, only 3 at-bats today, you know, only 5 or 6 innings. But, you know, I just keep building on that, man. You know, I feel great, and come back here tomorrow, and we'll see how it feels.
Anything else you have to prove to yourself before opening day?
Yeah, there's a couple more things. You know, I feel good. You know, right now I'm kind of, you know, I'm trying to play smart. You know, I feel like I get running in a straight line, everything's good, but you know, I'm still working on those turns around the bases and stuff like that. So I feel with just a little more confidence, everything's going to be good.
And you said off camera that there was one ball in foul territory. You were shaded towards the gap.
Right.
You're not going to get yourself hurt in the spring training game.
You know, you want to go out there. You know, I think during the season I lay out for that ball, you know, and try. But I think right now we still got a couple days before opening season starts, and you know, it's a foul ball, you know, just and Mo's pitching, so I'm feeling pretty confident about our chances.
Friday, Tampa Bay Rays. Is Nick Swisher in the starting lineup?
Hell yeah, absolutely.
Michael, I think that's a good way to end it. Back to you guys.
Sounds like he's confident that he will be in there for sure. So thank you to Nick and thank you to Jack as Bernier hits one foul. Grabbed there by Murray, and he'll go back and get another hack. Did you ever have a teammate that was that outgoing and pumped up? I mean, other than yourself?
Turner Ward.
Just like that?
No, I think Nick is one of a kind of guy. Trying to think. Turner Ward comes to mind. Just always on. Little Energizer Bunny.
Fouled away.
You got all the defensive changes here, Michael?
I'm certainly
there's lots
trying.
of them.
Edward Mujica is the new pitcher. We should mention that.
Yes, who's going to be doing a lot of setup. Little slider, Eddie Rapuano ringing him up.
Coughlin, Galloway, and Ozuna. Murphy, Black, Solano, and Kearns. And Real Muto behind the plate.
Real Muto. Muto? Muto. JT Real Muto.
And if you need the first names, we'll give you those. It's Marcell Ozuna in right. Isaac Galloway in center. Chris Coughlin out in left. Donnie Murphy at third. Daniel Black at short. Donovan Solano at second. Austin Kearns we know. And JT Real Muto.
JT.
Chop to second. Solano. Comes down Wise.
Donovan Solano. There was some talk about him being the utility middle infielder. Donnie Murphy ended up being the one to grab that. Edward Mujica, big power sinker. Setting up Heath Bell, the new closer, big sign. Marlins, outside of the Angels, maybe, Michael, there's no question. And then even then, they had the biggest moves in the winter. You know, maybe people down here thought a little disappointment because there was some talk of them going after Prince and also Albert Pujols.
Well, I give them the credit. They did go after Albert Pujols.
Yeah.
They offered him a lot of money.
Yeah. You get a starting shortstop, electric player, a closer, 2 starters, starting rotation with Burley and Zambrano.
Swing and a miss as Nunez strikes out. Strong inning for Mujica, who retires the Yankees in order. We go to the bottom of the 8th. A lot of 8s. Yankees 8, Marlins 8 on yes.
The Chevy Cruze Echo also offers 42 mpg on the highway.
Actually, it's Cruise Eco, not Echo. Just like either.
Or either.
Or economical.
Or economical. Potato, potato, huh?
Actually, it's tomato, tomato.
Oh, that's right.
Visit ChevyOffers.com. Now, very well qualified lessees can get a 2012 Chevy Cruze LS for around $159 per month. EPA estimated 36 miles per gallon highway.
Spring only shows up once a year. What are we going to do about it? Here's to more Saturdays in the sun and budgets better spent. Here's to Black Friday prices that turn more shoppers into savers. To picking up, trading up, mixing it up. To well-earned muddy boots and a lot more spring per dollar. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. Black Friday is back. Now through Wednesday, save on these top brand project starters just $8 each.
See ya! Alex Rodriguez, the youngest man ever to get to 600 home runs.
Come on to Yankee Stadium to see the 27-time world champion New York Yankees in action. Bring a group of your friends, family members, or business associates out to Yankee Stadium and enjoy Yankees baseball in a private party suite or in one of our great group locations. For more information, visit Yankees.com, call 212-YANKEES, or email groups@Yankees.com.
The road is not exactly a place of intelligence. This is why we engineered a car that analyzes real-time information, reads your handwriting, and makes 2,000 decisions every second. The new Audi A6 is here. The road is now an intelligent place. Experience the new Audi A6 at your local dealer today.
Saturday night, former Yankees pitcher Jim Abbott sits down for a new GMC Presents Center Stage with Michael Kay. The inspirational Abbott discusses his unlikely career, his no-hitter, and the obstacles he overcame in his journey to the majors. It's a new Center Stage, Saturday at 11, only on Yes.
Great guy. Everybody knows Jim threw that no-hitter for the Yankees in 1993. But we talked earlier about the news Yankee, Michael Pineda, last year averaged about 95, 96 miles an hour. And this year he had a hard time getting to 91, touched 93 at times. And Jim Abbott went through that very thing where he just lost his fastball inexplicably at a very young age. I'm not saying that's what's happening with Pineda. You see George Contos will take over for the Yankees on the mound. But sometimes you deal with that. And it's always interesting. Jim threw the cutter a lot. And people say that when you throw a cutter, it does rob you of velocity. But you wonder what came first, the chicken or the egg. Do you start cutting the ball because you can't make the velocity and you kind of come around the ball? Or do you throw a cutter and it just robs you of velocity?
I think it's the latter. I think, well, I'll tell you, Michael. I started throwing a cutter that I thought was just a power slider. And it became more effective. I liked it. I was getting easy outs. And it's easy to fall in love with a pitch. And the reason why scouts and coaches will say that you lose velocity, because the way you throw a cutter or a slider is you don't get extension and finish the way you would on a fastball. And you're cutting it off. And as a result, you're trying to take advantage of this late life, this late movement, and that's what's getting hitters out. It's not the velocity. You know, Mo was special. Mo was a guy that just the way it came out of his hand, it was very natural. And to his release point, Mariano Rivera's release point, that was his natural fastball. It cut. I played with a guy here, not even close, and not even to use it in the same breath, but there was a guy, Pat Rapp, that I played with a few years with the Marlins who had a natural cut. But yes, I think it does take away from your velocity, especially if you fall in love with it. You go from 20, 30% of the time, and now you're throwing your cutter more than 50%.
And Jim Abbott talks about the loss of the velocity and how that ended up finishing his career on that center stage. A good guy, and he did a good job on that show. There's a ground ball to short as Realmuto is retired. And that's going to bring up Solano.
I mean, what was discussed or described or trying to figure out with Michael Pineda before we now found out he has tendonitis and they put him on the disabled list is that his fastballs were cutting. And maybe to the previous point that you made is, what's the first chicken or egg? When you start getting soreness and you drop your arm a little bit as a result of trying to find that spot that's not painful, you start getting around it. And now it becomes a cutter. That you're not doing by design. What Jim Abbott did and what I did, we took a power slider and perfected it into a cutter. What I was seeing in these spring games with Pineda was that his ball just started cutting, which is a red flag to say, wait a minute, he's getting around the baseball.
Line drive, a base hit for Solano. Now I've got to give credit to Al Leiter. And this before any of this happened, I was on a plane on Friday to come down here, and I wasn't watching the Yankee-Philly game on Yes, and that was the game that Michael pitched. And I got a text from Al before the plane took off, obviously, and he said, the guy shouldn't be out there right now. You could see that his shoulder's bothering him. I said, how do you know that? And then we took off, and I never got Al's answer. And then when we took off, I opened my iPad and read that he said that his shoulder was bothering him. So you could see watching him pitch that he just wasn't right.
Yeah. Aside from what we're talking about, Michael, with the cut, he did show some grimaces that I've been there, done that, and I know, having pitched in games where you just didn't feel great. There's a difference between every pitcher. You're out there, Michael. You throw a lot, you're not going to feel great. So there is that fine line with feeling soreness and pitching through it, and then understanding your body and knowing, that's not just normal soreness. And then also too, that we talked about it. Whether anybody likes for us to discuss, when you had somebody who threw 95 to 97 miles an hour and you dropped significantly velocity, yeah, they're red flags. What's going on? Because more times than not, a pitcher, if he just wants to throw a mad fastball and overthrow, he can get his velocity.
High fly ball left field. Dickerson makes the play for the second out. And the Yankees feel that it's good news what they got, that it's inflammation and that he has slight tendonitis there, and what they really like from the MRI, that there was no structural damage. So you don't see anything wrong with the rotator cuff or anything like that. That's a big red flag when it involves going in and fixing something in the shoulder, but you hope that you get the inflammation. This is not the case, and they feel good about it. They actually were relieved. They breathed a sigh of relief, and the Associated Press caught up with Michael Pineda when he went to the ballpark yesterday, and he said, I will pitch this year. I'm going to be back. And he was relieved because on Friday, when he spoke to the media, and you read all the accounts, he had tears in his eyes. I mean, he's a 23-year-old kid who last year was an all-star, and now his velocity is taken away, so he was confused as well. And you went through all that.
I went through, oh boy, did I ever, Michael. As a young pitcher with the Yankees and then the early years with Toronto.
Ozuna with a pop-up to right field. Maxwell is there, and he'll put it away for the final out of the 8th inning. No runs a hit, no errors, and one man left. Let's take this baby to the 9th inning. Yankees and the Marlins tied at 8.
What would happen if you were to take away 30 horsepower from the Ram 1500, remove 27 foot-pounds of torque, and subtract 40,000 miles off its powertrain limited warranty? You'd end up with a Ford F-150. Test our metal and find out what we're made of.
During Truck Month, get $6,010 in total values on Ram 1500 SLT Crew Cab 4x4. Ram Truck Month ends April 2nd.
So this is the Civic?
Best-selling compact car in America. It's awesome.
Onboard supercomputer also?
It has available Honda satellite link navigation.
Artificial intelligence also?
It understands 600 voice commands.
Is it bulletproof?
No.
Does it have microwave jammer?
No, only spy cars have that.
Maybe I'm a spy.
You don't look like a spy.
That's the whole thing with being a spy. Now, what kind of deal can you give me?
We have some really great offers right now.
Right now, right now?
Right now.
Optional CD ejection system?
No, but I know a guy.
Get a great deal on a Civic during the Really Big Sales event. Real deals, big inventory. Now, at your Honda dealer.
Tuesday at 2. With the countdown at 2, the Bronx Bombers head to Port St. Lucie for a New York-style battle with the Mets.
All your life, you've been trading up. You went from buying off the rack to wearing something that actually fits. So, now that you're comfortable in your own skin, let's talk about your car.
It's the final days of the Lincoln Exchange sales event. One last chance to trade up to a Lincoln MKZ. For a limited time, get a $1,000 exchange bonus on top of the year's most attractive lease offer. Only at your Lincoln dealer.
We go to the ninth inning. The first game between two big league teams here at Marlins Park, the Yankees and the Marlins, and we're all tied at 8 as we go to the ninth. New pitcher for the Marlins is Chad Godin. Yankee fans might remember him. A crowd of around 25,000. This place holds 37. Not as if they couldn't sell this out. They limited how many tickets because they don't have all the concessions open. And tomorrow night's game between the Yankees and the Marlins is going to allow 30,000 in. And then obviously when the place opens up, they'll have the full 37 on the real opener. Here's Bill Hall against Godin. Outside, 1-0.
A little gradual increase. That's not a bad idea if you're trying to figure out logistics. 25. I think they said 32 tomorrow.
I heard 30, but we'll split the difference and say they'll let 31 in. Have that chain link fence out in right field, which reminds you of U.S. Cellular, where the White Sox play. They call that a picnic area in Chicago. A lot of the newer ballparks, Yankee Stadium is not included in this, but a lot of the newer ballparks are kind of retro, and they have the brick, and they try to make you think back to the 30s or the 40s when, you know, the old ballparks looked like that. But the Marlins wanted to move away from it. This is a modern ballpark, and it's Art Deco, and that's all there is to it. They did not want a retro ballpark, and this is not a retro park.
Would this be contemporary?
I guess it would be, yeah.
I think that's kind of in line with their vernacular. We'll just have to wait to see the fish spin on that thing, won't we?
You mean the thing out in center field?
Yeah, the
art. It's a sculpture. They don't like when I call it the thing out in center field, so it's an art sculpture. And the guy who designed it, we mentioned earlier, Red Grooms, and he has pieces of art at the Museum of Modern Art, New York, and also the Met, so he's very well known in the art world. That one splits the outfielders in right center, and Bill Hall will have himself a double. Now, Bill Hall batting in the cleanup spot for the Yankees. He took over for Alex Rodriguez, so Alex has time to talk to Jack Curry. He did that moments ago.
Thanks very much, Michael. Now, Alex, a Miami kid, gets the chance, a homecoming of sorts, to play in a new ballpark in Miami. What did you think?
I loved it. I thought it was a great atmosphere, great stadium. I think they just did a phenomenal job with this place. And I'm biased. You know, I'm from here. My daughters are from here. My family's here watching me, and all my friends at the Boys and Girls Club. And it was an exciting day for me, and I'm just glad that I was part of the Yankees and able to open up here.
You told us some stories pregame about going to the Orange Bowl and how a young Alex Rodriguez used to attend games there. What was that like?
Well, it was exciting. You know, one of the things I used to do, one of my chores as a young kid was, you know, sneaking into Marklight Stadium, which is a UM baseball field, and somehow trying to find my way into the Orange Bowl. And if you came early enough, sometimes you can sneak in. So for me, this place, this particular block is very special to me. I grew up here, and as a South Floridian, to see this beautiful stadium right here, I know that once I'm retired, I can come watch some good baseball.
Thank you, Alex, and thank you, Jack, as well. You know, after his press conference today, Andrew Marchand of ESPN New York asked him, would you ever want to play here? And Alex got wide-eyed and go, no, I don't want to play. I want to play with the Yankees. So he did add to Jack that he looks forward as he's retired to come here and watch games, but he has no desire to play for the Marlins. They turned Chavez loose on 3-0. He fouls it back. Did you ever go to the old Orange Bowl?
I did, yeah. Watched, I remember watching a national championship game. It was Miami against Nebraska. And Nebraska won. No, Florida State, Nebraska. Exciting. I like that old that place. All bench seating. Back was sore by halftime.
Yeah, everything was bench, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That one is lofted down the left field line. Coughlin giving a run. He can't get there. It's going to be one hop up against the wall. Hall rounds third. He will score. And Chavez picks up an RBI double to give the Yankees a 9-8 lead.
Well, bench guys coming in, getting some work at bats once the regulars are out of the lineup. High fastball from Chad Godin. Ball's carrying. We saw earlier in the day here with the ball over Austin Kern's head. Let's talk about with the roof open, the ball will be carrying better out to left field.
There's Justin Maxwell. Foul back. Yankees have 13 hits, 8 of them extra base hits, 7 doubles, and Nick Swisher's home run. And they are going to have Ramiro Pena pinch run for Chavez. Driven down the right field line, foul. I found what I think could be a problem in this ballpark, Al. Upper deck, third base side. There's a huge column, what you need there to hold up the roof. And there are seats behind that column. How? No, it's more over to the left, toward third base. I kind of took our director, John Moore, by surprise. And there are seats behind that column. How would you be able to see home plate? You see where I'm looking?
Yeah. No, we have a good vantage point from that.
I mean, the width of the pole might be, what, 15 feet? I mean, it's a big, round, concrete right there. The seats behind, how could they see home plate?
They can't. So we got to go up there and count how many of those seats and eliminate that in the 37? 36, 1,000 standing room only. Unless that angle.
Maybe that angle, I don't know. Do you think that angle could be unobstructed to home plate?
Could be a few up there. That's
strike 3. Maxwell down looking.
That pole, yes. I bet it's close. We got to go up there.
Let's do it right after the game. And we'll talk about it from Port St. Lucie on Tuesday. It's a great ballpark, but that did jump out at me as I've been looking around between innings. J.R. Murphy hits one right off of Godin. He recovers to flip it to first for the out. That hit him solid.
Two hard hit balls from Murphy. Nothing to show for it here.
What do you think, right calf?
I think it was calf. Luckily for Chad Godin, I think he turned enough to get it off his knee.
Randy St. Clair, the pitching coach, and the trainer come out. Well, how did this place become Marlins Park from the Orange Bowl? Well, here's time lapse through the years. And this is from our friends at Google and Fox Sports Florida. So it somehow morphed from the Orange Bowl to this. And this is the part of Miami that's called Little Havana. And in that story that I referenced earlier, written by Peter Richmond in ESPN the magazine, he said that Miami is considered the northernmost city in South America. It's a big Latin population, and they hope to draw some of those fans who are big baseball fans.
The northernmost city in South America.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I felt it in the airport last night, trying to get my car, taking different escalators and trying to get some information. It's hard to do.
Well, I was lost because the GPS in my car turned it on and it was in Spanish. I had no idea.
Well, honestly, I'm not to bore you, but I had to ask about 6 or 7 people just how to get to the car rental place because nobody spoke English.
That one gets away, and that'll allow the run to score. Ramiro Pena. Will score, and it is now 10-8. Yankees leading. The city of Miami is actually 65% Hispanic, and that's a proud part of the heritage of this city. And what the Marlins need to do to be able to survive is to draw some of those people to this ballpark, because a lot of people just root for a lot of the players from the countries from which they hail rather than the Miami Marlins, and that's what they hope to change with this ballpark and this field right in the middle of this historic area of Miami.
I think it's a great idea. I mean, the gateway to South America makes complete sense. You talk about a heritage and a history of Latin Americans loving baseball. I couldn't think of a better place. And you are absolutely right. The survival here, it is imperative for baseball as a whole. The amount of Latin players, the great players.
Cervelli makes the final out, and that will do it. But the Yankees get 2 runs on 2 hits and nobody left on base. Last licks coming up for the Marlins. Yankees lead 10-8.
Whoa. Don't want you spilling that hot latte on my driver's seat.
This is my car. Who are you?
I'm the second owner.
The what?
I will own this car after you. Look, I'm not telling you how to drive our car.
Our car?
If you're gonna have a latte in the car, keep a lid on it.
It's a cappuccino.
Still needs a lid.
The exceptional certified pre-owned program with the highest quality cars. Good news for the second owner.
Take care of my car.
Visit your local Audi dealer to learn about the many benefits of our comprehensive certified pre-owned program.
My mornings tend to be busy, and when I'm busy, things occasionally get forgotten. But now when I forget to do something around the house, I can unforget it with this. How did I ever live without Verizon? I don't know. I forget.
Welcome to Verizon Technology with home monitoring and control. Welcome to Life on Fios.
Direct injection. 265 foot-pounds of torque. All part of an engine built to effortlessly power through whatever challenge lies around the corner, no matter where that corner happens to be. The 308 horsepower Cadillac SRX, the most powerful standard engine in any luxury crossover.
Now lease a 2012 SRX crossover for $435 a month. Visit CadillacTristate.com for this attractive offer.
Well, we go to the bottom of the 9th inning, the first game between 2 major league teams at this gleaming new ballpark in Miami. Yankees lead 10-8. When I always say between 2 major league teams, the Marlins have played here before. They played the University of Miami and FIU as well. And there were 2 high school teams that played before that. So this is the first time that 2 major league teams have gone at it. And so far, the place has gone off without a hitch. And it looks great. It plays a little smaller than we thought when we looked at the dimensions, the way the ball carried to left field. They closed the roof. Takes 13 minutes to close that one off without a hitch. And they closed it because it was kind of hot today, although it was just 83 degrees. It was very, very humid. They decided to close it, and it has remained closed the entire game. And Al and I both heard that the guess here is that it will probably be closed 85% of the time.
More times than not. And I think because of the amount of how consistent there's always some sort of rain delay, even during you start your game and there's 2 or 3 spots during the game where they have to put the tarps out. So to not deal with that, and also when you mentioned about that 13 minutes, it cooled quickly in here.
Popped up behind the plate. The Marlins will open the regular season, or their regular season, Wednesday against the world champion St. Louis Cardinals. And Josh Johnson will be on the mound for the Marlins, and there will be a buzz in this area. There will be a buzz in Major League Baseball. And this will save baseball in South Florida, hopefully. As Galloway is gunned down, 1 away. You see that Bernier moved from second to first. Pena is now at second for the Yankees. And Joe Girardi quickly out of the dugout. Will signal for a left-hander with Coughlin due up. A lot of our people in the crew are going to WrestleMania. With this pitching change, they might not tonight. Stay tuned.
If you want to take a road trip with the whole gang, but don't want to stop for gas, there's an Acadia for that. And if you're looking for technology that helps keep you in control, or technology that helps you let loose, well, there's an Acadia for that too. The 2012 GMC Acadia. Now lease this 2012 GMC Acadia SL for $279 per month.
All my years, I don't believe it. My office supply guy, he got everything. I ask for cleaning supplies, he bring me cleaning supplies. I want light bulbs, he bring me light bulbs. Last week, I asked for coffee. Next thing I know, he bring me Keurig coffee machine and stacks of plenty Green Mountain coffee. So, what do you think? Vision of beauty, no?
Who but W.B. Mason?
One source. Wonderful.
What would happen if you were to take away 30 horsepower from the Ram 1500, remove 27 foot-pounds of torque, and subtract 40,000 miles off its powertrain limited warranty? You'd end up with a Ford F-150. Test our metal and find out what we're made of.
During Truck Month, get 6,010 in total values on Ram 1500 SLT Crew Cab 4x4. Ram Truck Month ends April 2nd.
Yankees up by 2 in the bottom of the 9th inning. They bring in Juan Cedeno, their 6th pitcher, and he will face Chris Coughlin. CC Sabathia started. He went 4 innings, and it was Mariano for 1. Gave up his first run in spring training since March 15th of 2008. Then it was Soriano, Wade, Contos, and now Cedeno. Now, before we went to break, a lot of the guys on our crew are going to WrestleMania. This city is hopping. The opening of this ballpark, WrestleMania tonight at Sun Life where the Dolphins play. There's also a triathlon down on South Beach today.
Tennis down in Brickell.
Yep.
The Lipton tennis. Key Biscayne.
And that WrestleMania will start at 6:30, so they've got a chance. How far is that ballpark from here?
20 minutes.
Without traffic?
Half hour.
Half hour?
Without traffic. There's no traffic today. Shouldn't be.
Coughlin's up next. This is Morrison right now. He's worked the count to 2-0. And it was a perfect time to bring in a lefty with Morrison and then Coughlin. Two and one.
Non-roster invitee, Juan Cedeno, has been around a while. Has not had big league time yet. 29 years old, from the Dominican Republic.
That one is looped into left center field. It's a base hit. So Morrison, who came into the game with 8 at-bats, is 2 for 5 in this game. We have 2 more spring training games on Yes. We'd like you to join us. Wednesday at Port St. Lucie. Check that. Tuesday at Port St. Lucie. We'll be on the air at 2 p.m. And then on Wednesday, the final spring training game, that will be back at Steinbrenner Field again against the Mets. And that'll be a noon start. And then it all begins for real on Friday. Yankees against the Rays. Yankees finished first in the American League East last year, and the Rays were the wild card team. And that wild and wacky last day of the season, they got that over the Red Sox, and it'll be James Shields against CC Sabathia. And our coverage will start at 2. Let's see if the Yankees get 2. They do not. The throw pulled Bernier slightly on the bag, and he didn't switch feet that well, so that keeps the game alive.
With all the position changes, Doug Bernier, middle infielder by trade. Nice little pass throw over to Nunez. You see he was trying to find the base. Had he stayed on the base, that was Chris Coughlin not barreling to Bernier.
And the pitch to Black is a strike. Three straight lefties for Ozzie Guillen. Perfect time to bring in Cedeno, and Daniel Black takes a second strike in the count 0-2. Swing and a miss, and the Yankees win the game 10-8. Cedeno comes on, gives up a hit, but gets the next 2 batters to close this out. And the Yankees will pick up their 16th victory of the spring, while the Marlins drop to 11-13-4. The Yankee record is now 16-11-3. A couple of home runs hit in the game, but the sculpture did not go off today. They'll save that for Wednesday against the Cardinals. The Yankees will celebrate. They have another game here tomorrow night. But all in all, no one got hurt. CC Sabathia got his innings in, and that's what they take as the Yankees get a 10-8 victory. 10-13-1, beating 8-13-0. Time of the game 3:20. Contos to win. Cedeno the save. Godin took the loss. I told you about CC's 4 innings. Cano with a double, 2 ribbies, and a run scored. Nick Swisher, a long home run down the right field line, and he scored 2 runs. Well, that'll do it from here at Marlins Park in Miami, Florida. Special thanks to senior producer Bill Boland, coordinating director John Moore, vice president of operations Ed Delaney, our supervising producer Woody Fryman, and the executive producer of the Yes Network is Mr. John J. Filippelli. Join us again Tuesday for Yankees baseball as the Bombers take on the New York Knicks from Port St. Lucie, Florida. Coverage begins at 2 p.m. on the Yes Network. Again, the final score, Yankees 10, Marlins 8. For Al Leiter and Jack Curry, I'm Michael K. saying see ya from Marlins Park. Have a good night, everybody. So long.
A true leader stays ahead of the competition. During the Leadership Sales Drive, get a Ford Edge with best fuel economy in its class for an amazing $239 a month. Just $239. Best mileage, best value.
Get to your Tri-State Ford dealer.
I have 2 products in front of you, and we're going to start with product X. This is a very affordable product that will help save you a lot of money.
I like it. I like it too.
This is product Y. This is a much more expensive product. You will not see a lot of savings with this one.
Harsh.
You chose Geico and you did not choose their competitor. Was this your first car insurance taste test?
A leader gives more than anyone else. During the Leadership Sales Drive, get a Ford Escape with better fuel economy than RAV4 or CR-V for an incredible $189 a month. Just $189. Most MPG, most value.
Get to your Tri-State Ford dealer.
How you react to success says more than the success itself. When you're named the most technologically advanced in your class, or the most luxurious, do you rest on your success? We prefer to build on it. The Chrysler Showcase event. Hurry in. Offers end soon. During the Showcase event, get a low-mileage lease on Town & Country Touring for $279 a month for well-qualified lessees.
At the Jeep Showcase event, it wouldn't be enough to tell you that we've been named the best 4x4 of the decade. Or to just say that this is the most awarded SUV ever, or that we never stop pushing boundaries. People deserve proof, so that's exactly what they'll get. The Jeep Showcase event. Hurry. Offers end April 2nd.
During the Showcase event, get a low-mileage lease on Jeep Liberty Sport 4x4 for $199 a month for well-qualified lessees.
My house is nice and quiet. That's a Sloman's Shield doing its job. I've got perimeter protection, interior protection, and now I can see what's going on. Not in front of a computer? No problem. I can view the camera from any web-enabled device. The best part is it's free. You just pay for the central station monitoring, which you would need anyway in order to alert the authorities. All you have to remember is 1-800-ALARM-ME. Shield your home, see your home. The Sloman's Shield.
The following is an exclusive presentation of the Yes Network.
See ya! A home run for Alex Rodriguez. Hit sharply, base hit for Cano.
Jeter might have himself in.
That, strike three.
Hello everyone, I'm Jack Curry and welcome to Yankees 2012 Pride, Power, and Pinstripes. Over the next hour, we're going to preview the new season of Yankees baseball, featuring interviews with some of the most important Yankees and a two-part discussion with members of the Yes Network broadcast team. But the lead item in our program is the manager. Joe Girardi will begin his 5th season managing the Yankees, a stretch that includes a World Series title in 2009. Girardi, who is meticulous and prepared, wears the number 28 on his back, a reminder of the 28th championship that he and the Yankees are pursuing. I had the opportunity to ask Girardi about his thoughts on the 2012 season. Joe, the Yankees won 97 games last year and then 2 more in the postseason, but you fell 9 wins short of your ultimate goal. What leads you to believe that this year can be different?
I think it's a very talented group. When I look at last year, I thought we played extremely well. I thought our guys played like champions. I told them that after the year, and we were 1 hit away. But I think our pitching staff is deeper this year. Going into spring training, you don't know how you're going to be at the end of the year, and because there are sometimes you have to deal with things. But I think we're an improved club.
Well, let's talk about that pitching, because the 2 new additions are obviously Michael Pineda and Hiroki Kuroda. And let's start with Pineda. He's a guy who's trying to develop that 3rd pitch, that changeup. He's a young kid. You guys are all very excited about him. What kind of development do you expect out of him?
Well, we think the more he pitches, the better he's going to get. Power arm, a very good slider, a slider that I believe he can throw at any time and throw it for strikes. But his changeup, we believe, needs to develop, and we think that will happen over time. But I think there's a big upside to this young man.
And then you talk about Kuroda. He is kind of the polished product already.
Right.
4 pitches for strikes. He's got that nasty split finger. Russell Martin says on certain days he might go out there with perfect game stuff. I mean, that's quite a compliment. What have you thought about him so far?
Very pleased. I think he fits in great. Throw any pitch at any time. Has weapons for left-handers and right-handers. has great command of his pitches, and that's so important in our league because we know in the American League East, if you make mistakes, they're usually going to hurt you.
I'm not saying the other guys give you sleepless nights, but with CC Sabathia, any manager who is able to put him out there every 5 days, it's got to be a secure feeling.
Yeah, it's a great feeling. And it's a guy that a lot of times we don't talk about a lot because we just know what he's going to go out and do. He's going to go out and win games for you, give you quality starts. He's been so important to our club over the last 3 years, and I can't imagine not having him.
If it's not pitching, a manager is often talking about health. You want this team to be healthy. You have a veteran team, an older team. What is it about what you will do to make sure that you spot rest for these guys, give guys days off? How is that a challenge for you this season?
Communication is extremely important between the players and myself about how they're feeling. Watching with my eyes, sometimes guys will say they're not tired and you can see it in their legs a little bit. And sometimes it's more beneficial to give them a day off because they'll be more productive over the long run.
Now, Alex Rodriguez is a guy who was so important to this team. He only managed to play 99 games last season. If he can stay healthy, what kind of production do you think Alex can still provide?
Realistically, Alex was probably only healthy maybe 40, 45 games last year. And then he hurt his knee, and then he played with it for a while, and then came back and got hurt again. That's such a big key, is keeping him healthy. And if he's healthy, he's going to produce.
You hear a lot of people say, what is a guy's ceiling? How good can this guy be? You've answered this question a few times about Robinson Cano.
Yeah.
How high can this guy go?
You know, the sky's the limit for Robbie. You know, I think he's an MVP candidate every year. I think he has that type of talent. And that's not to put pressure on him, but I think he goes out, plays the game freely, enjoys what he's doing, and he puts up big numbers.
The Yankees, of course, their mandate is get to October. This year it's a little different. There are 2 wild cards instead of 1. As a manager, how does that impact you?
What it did, it put the emphasis on winning the division again. I think that's what baseball wanted to do, and I think that's a good thing.
George Steinbrenner used to always say, if the Yankees don't win it all, it's not a successful season.
Right.
You wear the number 28 on your back with that same mission, trying to get the 28th World Championship for the Yankees. What are the things that have to happen, have to fall into place to make that happen?
Health is a big concern for us, keeping everyone fresh and keeping everyone healthy. Our starting rotation is always key. The health of your bullpen, that's extremely important. And a lot of times, really, it comes down to one base hit or one pitch is the difference from you moving on to the next round. And we have to be on the good end this year.
When I interviewed Joe Girardi, Andy Pettitte, a new but familiar face, had not yet joined the Yankees. I had the chance to ask Andy about the latest twist in his career. Andy, why was this the right time for you to make a comeback?
Well, we feel good about it as a family, you know. It took me a little while to get here. When me and Cash talked in December, this has been a process since then for me, just praying about it and thinking about it and just feeling like, you know, what was the right thing to do in my own heart. And so just feel good about it. And I mean, it was just a strong desire, the desire to work, me to get my work in and to work out again was there. And when I had my family back in it, it's just for me it was a no-brainer. It was a tough decision because I retired, you know, and didn't want to just go through this again, you know, coming out of a retirement. But I didn't want to look back and regret it 10, 15 years from now. So it's exciting to be here again.
As you are making that decision, are there 1 or 2 final questions that you had to answer in your head? Was there a final thing laying out there?
The final thing was just mentally, just finally getting to a place mentally, can you do this again? I mean, are you ready to go through this again? Because it is a mental grind. And that was it. Just waiting to try to see if I could get to that place. And I got there. And I was able to throw some pins at home, which was what took a little bit of time also for me to not be able to make a decision back in January when the Yankees were asking me if I could commit to them, because I didn't know if I could be what I needed to be or what they wanted me to be, you know, until I started throwing pins. So it was a long process, but mentally I think that was probably the biggest thing I had to get over.
Now, what are your expectations for 2012 personally?
Well, I mean, you know, just the same as they were before I left. I mean, I want to go out there. I want to be healthy, and I plan on giving us a chance to win. I've never tried to set a whole lot of goals as far as trying to set wins or anything like that. I feel like if I go out there, I compete and I battle my tail off like I've always done, that we got an awesome club and the wins will be there. But the most important thing is just to be there for these guys, to be there for the rotation, for the staff, for the pitchers, and hopefully just have an impact in that clubhouse and hopefully help this team get to a World Series. And that's obviously where everybody wants to be.
We're just getting started on Yankees 2012. Coming up after a break, Michael Kay quizzes Alex Rodriguez about his expectations for the new season and how A-Rod wants to be on the field a lot more than he was last season. Then later, I'll have an interesting dual interview, their pair of future Hall of Famers, Derek Jeter and Mariano Rivera.
Yankees 2012 Pride, Power, and Pinstripes is presented by Ford. Check out the best-selling vehicles in America. Drive one at your Tri-State Ford dealer.
Leadership isn't given, it's earned. During the Leadership Sales Drive, lease the 2012 Ford Focus with up to 40 MPG for an incredible $149 a month. Just $149. Most MPG, most value.
Get to your Tri-State Ford dealer.
There are over 358 million trillion gallons of water on Earth. But not all water is created equal. Only 1/1000th of 1% is filtered naturally beneath the Earth, with a distinct balance of minerals, and emerges crisp and refreshing enough to be called Poland Spring. Poland Spring 100% natural spring water, born better.
You got to build history together.
That one's still deep to left. We were fighting, scratching, and clawing for runs. See ya. Monster shot. Yes. Feels good. Mariano Rivera. History with an exclamation point. What an introduction. He flies into the stand.
We got that mojo back. New York Yankees opening week on Yes is presented by Burger King.
A true leader stays ahead of the competition. During the Leadership Sales Drive, get a Ford Edge with best fuel economy in its class for an amazing $239 a month. Just $239. Best mileage, best value.
Get to your Tri-State Ford dealer.
Thanks for coming back with us on Yankees 2012, Pride, Power, and Pinstripes. Kevin Long, the Yankees batting coach, has said, when Alex Rodriguez is Alex Rodriguez, the rest of the Yankees only have to be average. But since Rodriguez only played 99 games in 2011, the Yankees didn't have his powerful presence when they needed it all season. Those 99 games were the fewest games A-Rod had played in one season since he became a full-time major leaguer in 1996. He was throttled by a number of health problems, including a right knee injury that eventually required surgery. Rodriguez made it his mission to come back stronger and be more durable in 2012. Michael Kay spoke with him about that and several other topics.
Alex, this has become a rite of spring. I do this interview with you. So how have you changed since your first year as a Yankee and now?
Well, a lot has changed. A lot has happened. You know, I can think of a lot of ups and a lot of downs. But for me, the thing that I can remember the most and my most enjoyable day for sure was, you know, being a world champion and bringing number 27 to this great franchise.
Are you a happier guy than you were when you first got here?
I think so. I think I'm more at peace with myself. You know, I think I've learned a lot over the last 9 years. I can't believe it's my 9th year here. It's been a fun ride, and I've learned a lot from a lot of my mistakes. And I think today I'm in a new place. I'm in a good place, and I think my role's changed in this team. And I've also embraced the responsibility that comes with being one of the leaders, and the player that I have to be for this team.
You came into the major leagues, Alex, as a baby, a teenager. Can you imagine that really on this team, you're an elder statesman and people do look up to you? Do you take that responsibility seriously?
I take it very seriously, and you know, that's the good news and the bad news. I mean, you wish you were 25 forever, but at the same time now at 36, hopefully you've learned from your mistakes. You're not as naive as you once were, and you understand that, you know, sincerity is something that goes a long ways in New York. People are very smart. You can't trick anyone in this game. You know, you're around us, you know, we're around at least 200 days a year. You're around your teammates, you're around your fans, and New York's a market that understands everything we do, both on and off the field, and I've come to understand it and enjoy it.
Let's talk about you being on the field. Last year, 99 games. I know that didn't sit well with you. What have you done to fix that?
Well, I mean, that's something that I've taken the most pride in is, posting a big number each and every year, going out there and being there for your team. And last year was extremely frustrating for me just to be out there for 99 games. I went to work right away. Right when we lost to Detroit, I felt like I needed to change plans a little bit. I got into, I reached out to Mike Clark from Atlanta, and we implemented a program that includes a lot of stability, flexibility, and mobility. And I think I feel good about the work I've done the last several months.
Now, you don't want to put a number on it. I appreciate that. You said that throughout the spring. But can you play 145 games? Do you think you could put up the numbers in that amount of games?
I've always said talk is cheap, especially in March. I mean, sitting here, we can all predict great things, and I can only say that for the last 2 months, the work I've put in, I think I'm in position to do that. And I think a big part of it is my communication with the skipper, and really let him know how I feel on a daily basis, a weekly basis. But I'm excited to go out there and post a big number.
Were you too much of a hero last year? Because it looked like you were compromised and you were playing through pain. Should you have shut it down?
I don't know about that. The bottom line is whether you're 50%, 80%, or 100%, if you're out there, you should be able to be good enough to win. New York is a place where there's no excuses and is win at all costs. And I just came up short.
Is this team good enough to win a championship again?
I think this team, if it stays healthy, has, sky's the limit.
You mentioned at the start, 2009 was so important to you. That's a highlight. Did it change the way you think of yourself, and did it change the way people think of you? Because not only were you a champion, but you weren't along for the ride. You were in the front car, and you had a big deal to do with it. How much did that mean to you and the way you're perceived?
I think it's changed the whole world for me, but I think for me what started that was the press conference that same year in 2009 when I had all my teammates there and I had that big press conference. And I said some things in that press conference that, I'm proud thinking, 3 or 4 years later that my life has changed and my role has changed. And I felt it from the time that press conference was over, and then it carried on to the World Series. And ever since, I've just found a lot of love and a lot of support from fans of New York everywhere.
Coming up on Yankees 2012, we'll have more from Michael Kay in part 1 of our Announcers Roundtable. He and the other members of the Yes Network team will discuss and dissect the Yankees.
All your life, you've been trading up. You exchanged the third-floor walk-up for the house you had your heart set on. So now that you're comfortably situated in life, let's talk about your car.
It's the final days of the Lincoln Exchange sales event. Your last chance to trade up to a Lincoln MKX. For a limited time, get a $1,000 exchange bonus on top of the year's most attractive lease offer. Only at your Lincoln dealer.
The education system here is on its knees.
9 out of every 10 schools either damaged or destroyed.
For little as $1 a day, you can provide a complete education for a child in Haiti. Just imagine what a gift of $10, $20, or over $30 could do. Haiti's future depends absolutely on getting kids into school. Visit yourdollar.ourfuture.org right now and donate whatever you can. Give a child a future. Give Haiti a future.
Some people like the 2012 Kia Sorento because of its class-leading miles per gallon. Some people like that it's a 2012 top safety pick. And Consumers Digest likes it because it's a best buy. Introducing the 2012 Kia Sorento. What's not to like? Get the Sorento today and find out for yourself why it's a best buy.
Day after day, the Yankees have worked diligently here at George M. Steinbrenner Field in Tampa as they wait for the new season of baseball to begin. Welcome back again on Yankees 2012 Pride, Power, and Pinstripes. We are for coverage of the Yankees from the first pitches of the spring to the final pitches of the season. So my colleagues are the perfect men to analyze the 2012 team. Our Bob Lorenz leads an all-star panel in part one of their discussion.
All right, Jack, thank you. Great to have you with us for our annual roundtable discussion. John Flaherty, Michael Kay, Ken Singleton, and joining us this season to add his calming influence as he did as a player and as a manager, Lou Piniella, ready to add that Zen-like quality to what we have to offer.
Well, I hope so. You know, I've been in camp for a couple of weeks as an O&E guy. That means I observe and I evaluate. I've enjoyed it, but I'm very pleased and very excited about joining the Yes Network and working some ball games and having some fun.
All right, so let's get into the O&E and what you've seen as we talk about the lineup for the 2012 Yankees. Any questions at all, Lou? We always go into it saying, can they be a 900-run offense, a 1,000-run offense? What are you seeing in that lineup?
Well, I see a veteran lineup that'll score a lot of runs. I think the biggest job that Joe Girardi has is where does he hit Cano in the lineup? Once he decides that, I think it'll flow pretty easily.
Every indication, Michael, is he'll be in the 3 spot, but is that something you think Girardi will play with a little bit during the season?
Nah, I believe it's going to be the 3 spot because he started doing that toward the end of the year in the playoffs as well. And really the old baseball adage is you put your best hitter third. And there are some that might argue that Robinson Cano is the best hitter in the American League right now. So I think he fits nicely in the number 3 hole. And the key for the lineup and the way it flows is if Alex Rodriguez stays healthy, then it gives Cano some protection.
And you also want a player to feel like he's on board with it. Mark Teixeira seems like he's on board with sliding into that 5th spot.
Well, I think Mark showed us a lot last year by admitting, you know what, I need to make some changes from the left side of the plate and get a little bit better production. So I look forward to what Kevin Long, the hitting instructor, is going to do with Mark this spring to catapult him, to get him off to a good start. And also, guys, a guy like Brett Gardner, is he going to take that next level, get to the next level and become that guy who has a real consistent year, or is he going to stay that kid who's a little inconsistent during the season?
It's interesting that we're talking about, Lou, a lineup that was very productive last year, but can even be better this season. Teixeira, as we've talked about, can have a bounce-back year. We know that Nick Swisher can put up better numbers. There are a lot of guys in that lineup that can have even better years than last year.
No question, and Alex is a key. He needs to stay healthy. Last year he played in 99 ball games. He needs to be out there 130 games or so for the Yankees, or more. With Teixeira, there's no reason for Teixeira not to hit 280 or 290. Switch hitter, power from both sides of the plate. He needs to get his batting average up there. And Swisher's another guy that has got a really nice swing for Yankee Stadium. So, yeah, the Yankees have a lot of people that can improve from last year and score more runs and win more baseball games.
Well, they finished second in baseball in runs scored, but I think, as Lou said, as some guys improve, the team can be even better than it was last year when they led the league in wins. They won 97 games, even with these guys not having good years. I think if they do stay healthy, they'll be right at the top again.
And I don't want to forget about Russell Martin in there as well, a guy who was very productive at the plate, and he was learning those pitchers in that first year. Now this is year 2 with some of those pitchers.
Russell Martin did, I think, more than I expected him to do last year. I mean, behind the plate, he was rock solid, blocking baseballs, working with the staff, like you mentioned. But a right-handed power bat behind the plate. You know, the batting average wasn't great, Michael, but I thought when you looked at his whole body of work for the season, more than I expected.
All right, so obviously that situation taken care of, the lineup in good shape. Let's talk about the bullpen, because the bullpen, Kenny, a lot of people would say is the same thing, especially when you get to the back end. It's the same with Soriano, Robertson, and Mo, and that's trouble for opponents.
It's trouble for opponents because they're playing a shortened ball game. If the Yankees have the lead getting towards the end of the game from the 6th inning on, Joe Girardi can go to those 3 guys in the bullpen, really shut things down. The Yankees bullpen was a force last year, and it can be again this year.
And you really have to sit back and enjoy it this year, though, because this could be the last year that we'll ever see Mariano Rivera pitch. He's hinted at it. He hasn't said anything officially, but boy, are we going to realize how much the Yankees miss him when he's no longer there. But he had a great year last year, and if he does retire, he's not retiring because of ineffectiveness. He's retiring because it's time to go. He's 42 years old.
And it's funny, it's something, Flash, you don't want to dwell on. You've just got to get through the season with the quest of winning a championship, but that's going to be in the back of people's minds.
You know, and